Hey, welcome to my course, and I'm going to go ahead and explain to you guys what trading is before we go ahead and jump into it. So, within this course, you guys are going to go ahead and understand how to become profitable, inshallah, if God wills, by understanding how to identify key areas of support and resistance, understanding where price is going to potentially reverse at by identifying what's called key congruent zones of areas of support and resistance. As you guys can see, price comes in contact with this area twice and decided to fall down. Eventually, price decided to go ahead and break above it. And that's going to be the basis of trading. Trading is going to be very similar to ping pong. You guys are going to see where price is going to reverse within the same areas multiple times, and price is going to fall down until it decides to go ahead and break out and decides to go higher. Never forget that the point of trading and the point of the stock market, cryptocurrency, whatever you guys trade, forex is for it to go up. Now, within trading, there's going to be a couple of different subsectors within trading as well. You have cryptocurrency, you're going to have meme coins, you're going to have forex, you're going to have futures, and you're going to have stock options, as well as just normal stocks that you could trade via shares. These are all different things which are going to be explained within the course. The course will not be explaining forex just because it's not really regulated within the US, which is why a lot of forex traders went over to futures. So I'm going to definitely show you guys how to trade futures, cryptocurrency, and stock options within this guide. Now, I want you to keep a couple things in mind. When you guys do start trading, understand that when you're winning money, somebody is losing money. And when you're losing money, somebody is winning money. It's called trading for a reason. You're trading money. So you want to be making sure that you're making the right decision. Trading is kind of like a test or a quiz every single day. Each setup that you take is going to be a quiz. If you hit your take profit, you hit 100. If you hit your stop loss, you get a 0. And that's going to pretty much be it. It's pretty much like a big puzzle piece that you have to figure out, and we can very easily figure it out by just going through this guide, making sure we're staying prayed up with God, and staying persistent on the charts. And I promise you guys, whatever's mumbo jumbo to you right now, or whatever is confusing, I can promise you, inshallah, if God wills, by the time you finish this course, you're going to really understand trading to a whole different dynamic. So just understand that price is going to reverse at certain levels until it decides to go ahead and break out up. The only point of stocks really going down is for it to create and collect what's called liquidity, which is pretty much money from everybody losing money. So liquidity is pretty much, let's say a stock is falling down, right? Anybody who's deciding to try to buy when the stock is falling down, they're going to turn this liquidity. And that's going to give us enough ammo in order for us to go ahead and blast past the previous area where price decided to reverse from. And once again, prices are going to continue to do that forever and forever and forever until the end of time. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys an example here on Bitcoin too. So boom, here's Bitcoin pulled up. As you guys can see, we had Bitcoin here. Bitcoin kind of came near this area of, it came near this zone right here. Boom. And as you guys can see, price decided to go ahead and reverse. So Bitcoin decided to top out right here, and then it decided to go ahead and fall down. After it fell down, price decided to come in contact with the area of resistance again. And guess what? It decided to go ahead and Goku blast and break all the way upward. And that's going to be it, guys. Trading is just as easy as that. We're going to be waiting for a price to go ahead and show us where it wants to reverse. And all we have to do is set our entry where everyone else's stop loss is going to be. So just set your entry a few ticks ahead of the past reversal point. And if price decides to go ahead and break the past reversal point, you have a good probability that your trade is going to go ahead and continue in the direction that you decided to trade in. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this guide. Make sure you guys stay prayed up with God, and I'm very excited to teach you guys how to trade. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Let's go ahead and get to the guide. Peace. Okay, so cool. So let's go ahead and let's jump into it. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about the importance and significant, or the importance of wicks and why they're significant. So the importance of wicks. So let's go ahead and let's talk about something. What are wicks? So wicks are going to be these things on the tops and the bottom of each candlestick. And every candlestick is going to have two wicks, one on the top and one on the bottom. On the bottom. Okay? So, the top wicks signify something. Because once price decides to reach these top wicks, that means once price reaches a top wick, that signifies the close of the candle. So depending on the time frame, the top wick will signify the close. So if I'm on the monthly time frame, then each of these top wicks are going to be the end of the month. So if I go ahead and go to my monthly time frame here, draw a line on the very top of this one here, go to my 5 minute, we're going to go ahead and see that this is the most recent high before price decided to fall down. So this is where price decides to close at. So tops of the wick are also going to just signify something, so which is going to be called, because as you can see, once price decides to come at the tops of the wicks, price decides to fall downward. Once price tops out on an area and falls downward, that is called resistance. So usually when you see the top of the higher time frame wicks, monthly, weekly, and the daily, these are going to just signify key areas of resistance because price is falling downward. So once price tops out in an area and falls downward, that is called resistance, and the top of the wick signify that. Okay, now each one of these candlesticks have a bottom as well. And these signify the candle open. So the bottom of the candlestick tells you when the candle started. So any bottom that you see is going to be the bottom of the candlestick. So if on the monthly, if you see a bottom of a candlestick here, this would be the bottom of the monthly. If you're on the 1 hour, if you see a bottom of this candlestick, this would be the start of the 1 hour candlestick. If you're on the 5 minute, and there's no wick there, but if you're on the 1 minute and you see a bottom of this wick right here, this is going to be the start of the 1 minute wick, and then it pushed upward. Okay, so that's going to go ahead and be that. So the bottom of the wick tells you when the candle started, and it also signifies an area of support. And that's going to be where price bounced upward from, aka where people bought. Okay, so the bottom of the candlesticks just signify areas of support. The tops of the candlesticks signify areas of resistance. Okay? Awesome. So now that we've gone ahead and known that, let me go ahead and just delete all this here. So once again, the top of the candlestick signify resistance or support. And the bottom signifies support. Exactly. Awesome, sir. So cool. So now we know the importance of the wicks. So we know that the tops of the wicks are where price decided to short at, and the bottoms of the wicks is where the price opened and people bought at. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and use this information in order to go ahead and find a trade. So just like we do know, price decides to look for areas of resistance, and then it decides to go ahead and bounce upward off of that in continuation format. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and just use that information. And once again, it's just about finding the right set of resistance wicks. And once you are able to find them, I'm going to show you how to do it on indices and stocks as we normally go ahead and do. But just like an example right here, price decides to create an area of resistance here off of this wick right here, correct? And if I go ahead and put a line here, price decided to come down here, test these two wicks right here. And you see how price held that and stayed bullish? And it's pretty much going to do that every single time. See how price came down into between these wicks right here? Boom. And I'm sure if I go on my weekly time frame, this is why we scale as well. You're going to be able to go ahead and see some closer candles. Go to my daily here, and boom, I'm going to go ahead and see these daily resistances here. So this is the start of it. So I would just draw the zone from here to the tip of these. I hope you see these resistances right here. Go ahead and zoom all the way in. So I'm expecting price to bounce at resistances in order for the staircase to continue. So based off of the wicks information, so based off the past wicks, I can create a trade and read the trend. So let's go and let's keep doing it. So we can go ahead and see. So there's no other resistance wicks below like this one here. If price went below this one, then it definitely wouldn't have bounced for a while. But price decided to bounce in the zone and like these. Daily is going to be like the lowest one you go to. And as you can go ahead and see over here, price came in contact with the top candle over here. And price decided to bounce upward, you see? And once again, it's just about finding the correct candle. That's all we're doing. We're just finding the correct candle. And I'm going to go ahead and show you here how we're going to go ahead and do that. A lot of the times, the higher time frames do your work for you, and the smallest time frame you're going to be going to for your entries is going to be your daily. So, the first thing we're going to do is start on our monthly time frame and mark each resistance wick. Then go to the weekly and the daily and do the same thing. Draw zones around close candles. So let's go to current price, and let's go and let's do this. So I'm going to go to current price, correct? So I'm going to start off with my monthly because it's the first thing I like to go ahead and do. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is draw zones around close candles, and I'm going to go ahead and just draw lines at my monthly resistances. What I like to go ahead and do here, you can also hold control when you click the line. If you see over here to the left, you see the magnifying tool. So this kind of snaps the lines. A lot of times on TradingView, if you just free place it like that, if you zoom in, it can be like off. You see how off that is? So that's why we like to control click. Because if I, instead of free placing it, if I hover over the line, control click, it's going to snap and be the exact point. And this is going to be very important for your stop losses, entries, etc. You'd be surprised at how off it can be. So I'm going to go ahead and identify the resistances, and I'm going to just draw lines at each of them. So I'm going to start on the monthly, weekly, and go to my daily and draw lines at closed zones, okay? So let's go and let's do this. So and I like to label them as well. So MR means monthly resistance, and then I like to go ahead and lock it up here. So this way when I drag it and I'm dragging around, because it's going to be quite a bit of lines depending on what you have, then you're just not going to move around. So yeah, it's just going to be clean. So cool. So I see a resistance wick here. I see one here too. I'm going to control click, snap it. Templates, monthly resistance. You're going to be able to just double click the line, type in your text, click template, and then save as. This is going to be included in the course as well too. Updating as we go. And then the template was save here. So I'm going to go to my monthly resistances and keep doing each of these. Once again, I'm going to continue to lock it here so then I can drag it and it won't move. Because if you do that and you move it on accident, you know, it's going to be really annoying. You're going to be like, oh crap. And then next thing you know, you lose money on accident for no reason. So let's keep it professional. Let's lock our lines and let's keep these zones in place. Okay. Boom. I'm going to do one here. Hope you see exactly why I'm doing these resistances here. Let me know if I'm going too fast. Awesome. Thank you, sir. Okay. Monthly resistances here. Okay. And I see, so these are above current price, right? Okay. So resistances above current price have a chance to short or break out above these resistances. If the point of the market is to bounce at resistances to remain bullish. If price breaks past a resistance, it can be used as a short entry or a breakout entry. So let me go ahead and show you what I mean here. So if price is doing this, correct? So let's say price, sloppy. Let's say price here, just going up. Boom. Let's say just did like this. I'm gonna restart it. Okay. Say price started like this, right? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna show you two examples here, correct? All right. So let's say price started all the way up here, correct? See how price started up here, correct? So let me go ahead and draw it here. So price starts right here. So price decided to not bounce at this area of resistance right here. So price didn't bounce at this area of resistance and broke past it. So what we're going to go ahead and do here is I like to wait for a lot of confirmation. Some people might just take the breakout immediately. That is fine. You're going to have smaller take profits and you might get reversed on a lot of times. I like to wait for confirmation and I don't like to enter unless the trade setup looks very, very clean. So say price did something like this, right? So boom, price started up here. As we can go ahead and see, price didn't bounce at this area of resistance right here and broke past it. So when price doesn't react the same way at a level and breaks past it, that's called a breakout. Okay, so boom. So price didn't bounce at this area of resistance and broke past it. Price started up here, came down here, and bottomed out right here, correct? So this is going to be some support. So now this is some support over here because price bounced upward. Okay. So now that we've gone ahead and known that, let's go ahead and put into perspective and see that price decided to bounce upward. Okay. So price bounced upward and then boom. Okay. We hit this area of resistance right here. So cool. So now after we hit this area of resistance, price decided to go ahead and fall down and we broke through this area of support. So price broke through the area of support. Okay. So after we've gone ahead and seen that, we saw that price trickle down a little lower, created a new area of support. And then price decided to come up, and then that old support turned into resistance, right? Let's just say all the way to the left, there's probably some old resistance, but let's just say like right now. So the old support turned into resistance, right? Boom. Okay, cool. At all-time highs, this is essentially how it's going to work because there's no all old levels. So this is pretty much how you trade all-time highs too. But this is how trading works. So price broke through the area of support right here. And then decided to create another area of support right here. After that, price decided to create an area of resistance again right here on this area of support, correct? Okay, so support turned into resistance here. So here, support turned into resistance. A lot of the times, old price will have an old resistance that'll match up, but all-time highs, support will turn into resistance a lot of the times. So boom, now we've gone ahead and known that. We saw that price didn't want to come all the way down here, and let's just say price broke up. Okay, so now, after price has gone ahead and done that, right? Price decided to do another breakout through this area of resistance right here. So I'm going to show you two. This is how trading works. I'm going to show you how you'd get the long entry here and how you'd get the short entry here. Especially when markets in a range, it's very, very simple to play. And trending. So cool. So let's check it out here. If price came down, and remember, we're looking for price to bounce at areas of resistance, right? Bounce and hold areas of resistance to continue upward, because the point is to keep making new all-time highs. The point of the market going down is to collect ammo and liquidity so it can come back up and keep breaking all-time highs over and over again. You can go to any single chart, and that's how it works. So cool. So we're looking for price to bounce at areas of resistance, right? Okay. And price decided to go ahead and break out of this area here. And price made an area of resistance right here, right? Based off of that past support. So if you see price deciding to bounce right here, this would go ahead and be a setup. You could easily do something like that if you wanted to. Or have a baby or stop loss. Really up to you. Like stop loss maybe here. At this support right here. Because we're expecting it to hold. So stop loss under here. Something like that. Take profit up here. Because price has to go up to go down. And it has to go down to go up. So we would go ahead and this would go ahead and be our entry. So this would be our long entry here. And then, so this is our long entry here because price bounced at a strong level of resistance. If you see price bouncing at resistances on the monthly, weekly, and daily, it is safe to take a long, especially in a heavy uptrend. Just find the right resistance wicks and label them. Only use the monthly, weekly, and the daily to find your zones. Okay? The higher time frames are going to do all your work for you. So just use the monthly, weekly, and the daily to find your resistance wicks. And if you see price holding an area of resistance on your monthly, weekly, and the daily, one of those, and you see price holding a strong area of resistance, it's safe to take a long. Okay? So that's why it's safe to take a long here. So that's why this long entry would be verified. Now, let's go ahead and let's talk about the opposite end. Let's say price did something like this. Here, let's be more realistic. Probably be like choppy. Yeah, something like that, right? Okay. Something like that, right? Okay. So, now let's talk about the short entry. And if I see price deciding to okay. Cool. So right here, this is going to be for the short setup. So for the short setup, to take short setups, make sure there is a higher time frame, monthly, weekly, or daily resistance where price previously shorted at, and see if price does it again. So short setups are a little bit more, and it also does help too. Does help if the area of resistance has supports near it as well. That means it's very strong because price held bullish there at one point. So let's say price doesn't look like this, right? Okay. Let's say price started up here instead, right? Bounced up the purple line, boom, came down, and then price created resistance right here, all right, off the support. If price came up and you saw resistance holding right here, these areas of resistance, you saw these holding, you would definitely be able to go ahead and short. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and show you this example live. This is how trading works. If you're longing, you're looking for price to hold areas of resistance. If you're shorting, you're looking for area of resistances that price is already shorted at to just short again. Okay, awesome. And what's really cool is that these lines and zones can really mean the same thing. It just depends if price is above or below it. So right here, for example, right? So you see how on this line, price decided to bounce here first, right? And then we decided to break through it, and then price shorted here at this line, right? And then price bounced here again at this line, right? So it just depends if you're above or below it. A lot of the times this is how trading works. The zones are going to be there. So, yep, once again, this is going to be fully updated in the course, so I'm going to go ahead and delete everything here, and you're going to be able to go back if you need it. Cool. So let's go ahead and let's talk about this live again. So I'm going to go ahead and go through on my chart, and I'm going to label each of the monthly resistances. You're going to get fast as well too. I'm just going to do it a little quickly here, just so we can go ahead and scale down our smaller time frames and see reactions. So I'm going to go to my monthly here. I'm going to mark out all the resistances, label them, make sure I'm control clicking as well too, and I'm going to do all the resistances above current price. So once again, if they're above current price, price could potentially short at these areas or break out and then try and bounce and hold for continuations. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So that's going to go ahead and be that. And then say price were to do this, right? Say price broke out of this resistance, right? If it broke out of this resistance and then say price decided to come up to this one, right? Because this is take profit. So the reason why these are so significant is because this is where people are going to go ahead and sell. So remember when I told you the goal of this is to go up, right? So whenever you see price shorting at an area, don't think of people buying sell orders. People are selling buy orders, if that makes sense. So yeah. So because remember, pretty much everything starts at 0. So somebody has the entry from like right here, and he knows how to read the chart. So if he sees some resistance being created, he's just going to sell there. So everyone knows what they're looking at. It's all the same thing. That's why this stuff has to happen. And it's just about how patient you are. If you're very patient, you can win 90% of your trades very easily. So, yeah. So, cool. Say price were to go ahead and do that, and then price might go ahead and short down. And then it might come to like some weekly resistance here or something like that. Like, say, say there's like a weekly resistance right here, right? Then price isn't going to dump all the way back down here over and over again, because then how's the staircase going to happen? Market would be sideways, so it might bounce here. You see? And boom, and then you would go ahead and take that trade, and then price should hold this, continue, and then yeah, trickle up, continue the stair. So now I'm going to go to my weekly time frame, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing as I just did on the monthly here. On the monthly, I can keep going a little bit down below. You can go below current price too. So remember, below current price, you're expecting price to try to bounce upward. Okay? Above current price, you're expecting for price to either break out or reject. So price is either going to break out or reject at these areas. One of the two. All right. So let me go ahead and draw these below current price here on the monthly. You don't have to go all the way far down, but you can just do like a cool little range like this. Maybe just like a few months. Something like that. I'll do this one down here. Yeah, we'll just stop there. All right, now I'll go to my weekly, and let's go and let's do the same thing. So I'm going to start at the very top and trickle down. Remember what I told you. If I see zones, I'm just going to draw the zones near each other and just save my time space. Or save my chart space. Instead of having individual lines everywhere. I used to do that. My QQ charts look like this. And yes, it's very efficient. Yes, it's very reactive. As you can see, I'm able to just plot out trades. You see this is a double bottom here. And just call out signals for you guys. Boom, right at 9:30. Double bottom. It's very effective if you do it like this. Perfect shorts right here. You know, right off the weekly resistance. So I just want to go ahead and show you that I do this myself. You know, full maniac mode. But I try and simplify it for you guys because I don't, this, you know, when people first start doing this, you can't, it's hard to have all these reactions on your screen like this. So let me go ahead and let's clean it up here. So I just did it all on my monthly, go to my weekly here, and I'm going to go ahead and draw zones near some wicks that I go ahead and see near each other. So on this purple line, if I see this purple line near this purple line here, I'm going to just grab my box tool and I'm going to just draw a zone like this, right? Save myself some time. Lock it up, boom, do it like that. I'm going to go ahead and draw the line here, weekly resistance. I'm going to draw a line here, weekly resistance. All I'm doing, I just went to my monthly, drew lines at the resistances. Now I'm on my weekly, drawing lines at the resistances. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Nothing crazy here. Just keeping it clean and simple. If I see some wicks really close to each other, I'm just going to draw a zone and save myself some chart space. Oops. These two can be a zone. Weekly resistance. Weekly resistance. One right here. One right here. Alright, and we'll go a little lower. Weekly resistance. All I'm doing is just putting lines at each resistance, sir. That's all I'm doing. Oh, see these two close to each other? I'm just going to go ahead and draw a zone. Save myself some chart space. Ooh, see how price long from right here? Very nice. That would have been crazy. Sometimes it just gives you super easy monthly answers. Like, once again, that Goog trade I told you about. Oh, price broke through it, but price bounced here twice. Cleanly, would have made some crazy bread if you just got in, literally. 9:30. Boom. Instant fucking just push up. It's ridiculous. Oh, once again, had a little end of the day. You would have woke up to some money here. Probably a little daily retap right here. When you see price curl down like that, a lot of times your long setup is going to look like that. It's probably holding some resistance right here. See. This one decided to kind of hold the support there. Yeah. Yeah. So price was very, very clean off this one here. And then daily resistance here gave some close re-entries. Depending on some spikes down, and then he would have gone and taken that. So yeah, reacted like off of those right here. And don't ever get scared if it does that like slight overshoot. Like right here, for example. See how I did that? It's mostly just to stop people out. But a lot of times, if that holds and you see some bullish candles, you can definitely get in, stop loss underneath the lows, and just take it. All right, so let's go and let's keep going. So, still on my weekly here, drawing lines at each resistance. If you see big gaps like this between the higher time frames, you know you definitely have to get on your daily. So now I'm going to get on my daily here, and this is really where you're going to have to play close attention here. This is where things are going to matter the most here. So, I'm going to go ahead and draw a tiny little zone right here. Label. Lock. You can make them different colors too if you want. 610.30. This one can be a zone. Actually, no. I'm going to draw a line here. Daily resistance. And then I'm going to draw a zone from these to this wick down here. Sometimes TradingView might bug. When you see it flat like that, that's still a wick. I don't know why TradingView does that. But yeah, I guess like there's just no selling at all. Okay. I'll draw a zone right here. This is kind of big, but it is what it is. I'll keep this one here. This one here. See all these wicks down here? This one here, this one here, this one here, and this one here. Let me draw a zone. Okay, see right here? This wick right here, this wick right here, this wick right here, this wick right here. Boom. And a lot of times the monthly and the weekly is just going to give you guidance to everything because it's the weekly. So it's going to show you candlesticks that's come in there within a week accumulation. So yeah. Oh, I see these two right here. I'm going to draw a tiny zone in between these. Ooh, see that nice tap right here? Very clean. Support turned into the resistance right here. Very nice. I'm going to draw a tiny little zone on these two. And once again, do make sure you're labeling these two. Okay. I'm going to label this zone right here. I'm going to start at the top of this wick, come down to here. Down here, I'm just going to draw one line. Draw a line right here at this daily resistance. Okay, I'm going to draw a line at this zone. Start at the top of here. Go to the bottom of here. 1, 2, and then 3. Very nice zone. Okay, same thing with down here. I'm just going to draw a zone from down here to up here. Alright, let me go ahead and draw a line at this resistance here. Okay. Let me make this zone a little bigger. And draw a line at these two right here. And then we'll scale down. Okay. So that's all the resistances I've identified on the monthly, weekly, and the daily so far. So they're all locked up. I'm gonna skip onto my smaller time frames and let's check some things out. Ooh, ooh, getting some nice entries here. Okay, the price. Okay, I need to do right here because this is where current price is. So you kind of have to keep going down pretty far. See, this isn't even where current price is. Current price is right here. So I actually have to keep going for a little minute actually. So hold on, let me keep going. And it does take work. Trading is work. This is who you're competing against, especially some of the top option traders that I know and keep up with, just like me. Literally do nothing. I'm gonna, as we keep going, I'm gonna teach you this. But come here, go stock screener, go to each one of these pairs and just mark stuff out and find the cleanest setups. But we're gonna keep getting into that later as we keep going with the mentorship. So cool. I'm gonna draw a zone here. I'm gonna draw a zone here. Draw a line at this daily resistance here. This one here. And there's going to be pretty obvious ways once we scale down to our smaller time frames to see like which one of these are good. Especially when price opens up in the morning, it's pretty much going to give you the answer. So that's why it's really effective to just have the levels drawn, because then it's right when 9:30 comes, you're going to know exactly what price is reacting at. So a lot of people go wrong because they don't have their levels drawn and they keep coming into market with a fresh perspective when it's based off old levels. You feel me? Awesome. So let me draw this here. Okay. All right, I think that's going to be that. All right, cool. Let me scale down. All right, very, very nice. Okay, cool. So let's study these reactions. What I like to go ahead and do as well, is there... Yeah, there's some missing. Right here. Okay, cool. So I like to scale down to like my 15-minute or my 5-minute time frame, and let's just go and let's just analyze reactions, right? So let's just read what I like to call the flow of the market. So what I like to go ahead and do as well, I like to stay on regular trading hours, especially on options, because you're going to be able to just see clean setups that's happened in the past. So this setup right here, right? So this one was super duper clean. This was, let me see, where's the signals I gave? Like the other day. Here we go. This is the signals I gave right here at these daily resistance. So I saw price getting bullish from here right at 9:30. Once I saw price like come down and kind of hold it, I instantly knew we could go ahead and take this stop loss below lows, because the price opened right here at 9:30 for me, and I knew we had to go up to come back down. So once you have all your levels drawn, stuff is going to be extremely effective. And I just want you to go ahead and just read the flow of how effective these levels are. See this exact wick right here? Boom. 10 o'clock wick. Spike. That's probably a news candle right here. And then price just jolted up. Had some short re-entries as well, too. There's no such thing as missing a trade. No such thing as missing a trade. Price has to go up to go down. It has to go down to go up. It's just about finding your piece of the pie. You know? So you could have either... Let me see here. You could have either shorted here at like this daily resistance right here, and took it down, or you could have waited. I like to wait for really clean taps. If I see price longing here at this daily resistance after price made the super Goku low, say I miss this, right? Cool. If I see price spike up, come back down, and hold this resistance, I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. 100% I'm in. Yeah. This one here? Well, a lot of the times too, so you're going to be able to use the previous levels as take profit. So it doesn't really concern me because if I see price holding bullish from this area, and especially if price decides to break out of this area, so you're going to be able to scale out per different take profits. So the system, I don't really like that word, but it's really effective when you have more contracts because then you're going to be able to easily catch the all day trades, right? Because I'm just going to be honest, it's not completely realistic to hold. If you study even the best traders, a lot of them don't have extremely crazy take profits. What you notice is consistency with size. So, and that's going to come over time. And I just dropped like a little recap the other day, like $100 a QQ in like 15 minutes. Literally like maybe 3 points. And what that was an out the money con. So around a point, something like that, depending on more size you have, you're going to be able to make hundreds in 20, 30 minutes very easily with less than like a $500,000 account. So options is extremely leveraged too. Options, the thing about it, we're gonna get more into contracts and stuff like that, but you get rewarded pretty much for your win a lot more than other things. So yeah, so because you get paid interest wise, so that's why there's certain things like if price is at 594, and you think price is gonna come down here to 593. If you have a 594 or 593, here you would buy 594. We're going to get into that because price is at 594.07. So we'd buy 594 because price is going to hit 594 first. Once price is at 594, it's pretty much going to just juice. It's going to just fry itself in the fryer, and it's just going to start cooking. And the contracts are going to start moving really cool, and you're going to be able to make lots of money. Options it gets ridiculous. I'm going to show you something here. Some NVIDIA cons, for example. So I want you to go ahead and see something here. This is what's really cool about options. So I want you to pay attention to the numbers to the far right. You see these numbers? Okay. So say price is hitting stop loss, right? Say you entered here. Say you entered here, right? You're expecting price to do this. Like it did, right? Say stop loss like here, hypothetically. I want you to pay attention to the right. See how these numbers are moving by 0.1? You're losing like no money. It's pretty much impossible to blow your account. If you don't stick to your stop loss, that's completely on you. If you blow your account, that's completely on you. It's completely on you. You should not be oversizing. We're going to get into that more and more as we go on. But if you blow your account, that's completely on you. It's like extra, especially on options, it's really hard to blow your account. Like unless you sit there and fry the contracts, don't stick to your stop loss and are being a baby about it, you're not going to blow your account. And one win is going to be such a crazy winner. Because check this out. So remember, you see how it's moving by 0.1. We're going to get into contract math as we keep going on. But still, check this out. I want you to pay attention to the numbers to the right now. Once they get to 3. This moving by 5s. You can't even really calculate how much profit that is. That's 5x more money you're making once you start winning. You see how that works? Meanwhile, on futures and forex, you're making the same the entire time. But on options, you start winning, you're going to be making more. You see? But if you start losing, you're going to lose the same. That's what's really cool about it. And you'll never owe the broker money compared to futures and forex. Like if there's a big news candle on futures and you don't have enough margin in your account, that's why people like funded so much. The thing about fundeds, you're not getting 50K in trading capital. It's really like a 2K account. Whatever the drawdown is on the funded, that's how much the account size is. And you're getting less trades. You're really getting like 6 trades because you're going to need like 60, 70 ticks. So you're trading like NQ. And that's a really good entry. That's going to be like $400, $500. You have 2K drawdown. That's around 5 trades. That's going to be over 20% of your account per trade. So yeah, and you get like 5, 6 trades before you blow your account completely. So that's that. And you could owe the broker money if like a news candle comes in and say the broker doesn't stick to your stop loss, which definitely can happen sometimes if a candle is fast enough. You can easily get liquidated. But on options, say if you have $10,000 in contracts and it goes to zero, you'll only lose that 10,000. You can only lose what you put in, and you'll never lose that a lot of the times, ever. Just stick to your stop loss. So even if you open $100,000 worth of positions, your stop loss might be like 3K, you know? But then your win might be like 30, 40. Because you see how it starts moving by fives. You see, like, that's literally cheating. You start making more money when you're winning. That's why personally options is going to be my forever favorite. I've had my time with futures, very consistent, got funded, got some live withdrawals and stuff like that. I just don't like futures. It's not worth the stress. The options for me, price a lot of the times, the setups are right there for you at 9:30 or right there in the morning time. And this is just SPY. You know, on stocks, it gets 10 times easier than this. 10 times easier. SPY, QQQ indices, the 0DTE indices are harder than stocks, for sure. For sure. But if you do this on like a stock pair, like Robinhood, if I were to do the same thing, you would see some stupid, ridiculous levels. And here's like the same thing I did have. You know, had some shorting from up here. You know, saw price shorting here again. And then, yeah, and the price came up, tried to short here again. And then price long from here, right at 9:30 kind of. So price opened up, gave me like 1 minute candle afterward. And then, yeah, had a long from here. And yeah. So once again, stocks are easier than indices. That's why I like options, because you're going to be able to easily catch like some crazy stocks moves. If you catch a really good entry and swing a contract into overnight, remember how I just showed you how you make more profit when you win, right? So your winner contract, even if it's less, say you have like one winner contract, if that flips really, really heavy and price flips in your direction, that one contract could make you more money than like 10 contracts and like a decent move off 10 contracts. Like one overnight move with one contract can make you more money than like a decent move with 10 contracts because of how it works. You get paid more when you're winning. So cool. So once again, all I did was just draw the resistances, correct? Cool. So let's just say here, for example, boom. See this resistance being reacted, price reacted here at the end of the day. Cool. And you're just going to go ahead and just see here and just wait for your reactions, honestly. A lot of times it's easier to plot out trades once market opens. Market is pretty manipulated. I'm just going to be honest. News, earnings, all of that, it's just going to dump it. A company could have the best earnings of all times. If it needs to go down, it's going to go down. A lot of times you'll see it'll dump to an exact resistance or something like that. Or it'll just shoot up and then start creating structure later. But price is going to try its hardest to react at these resistances, and especially when you see cases like this, right? This is when it gets free. This is fun. This is when I call it fun. So when price is in an uptrend, it's fun. It's really fun. You're going to be able to just farm the market really, really easily and catch easy points. Say right here, right? Boom. Let's just say here, because this is Tuesday. We'll be realistic. If I see price came down here, boom. Let's just say price came down to this one, right? You could honestly take any of these. You could do so much here. You could do so much here. My bad if I get so excited about it. It's so crazy when you see all these reactions, you know? Say, all right, price opened up all the way up here, right? This was the all-day shorter. I'm pretty sure I caught this. Or caught a piece of this. Cool. Price opened up right here at 9:30. We came up, tested this weekly resistance, boom. Say you missed the ultimate entry, right? Don't trip. Wait for price to come down. As you can see, price broke through this area of resistance. And then we came up back to this area of resistance, right? The daily resistance. We held it. And then we could very easily go ahead. If I see price holding this, just put a stop loss like up there or something like that on the 1 minute. And I could very easily be like, okay, I know I could easily take it down to maybe right here because I'm expecting price to short down to at least here. And this is going to be some good breach. This is the point quickly. You catch this every day, you're going to very easily be able to, off one contract, you're going to very easily be able to make at least $50 to $250 a day. You do that for a month, you're going to easily go ahead and be at 2K to 3K profits. Then you're at 4 figures. Then you start scaling up with 5 cons per trade. Then you're easily going to be able to get in the 4-figure, 5-figure months from there. It literally just takes that's why I'm not going to have you deposit a whole bunch of money, because if you can't grow your account from 3 figures, then I don't want to throw you into the gauntlet, because this is a process-based game. Especially on 0 DTs and stuff like that, it gets very, very fast. Here, when it's just literally ultimate downtrend, you can literally just wait till it breaks, pulls back up, and take it back down. Remember what I told you. If market is going down, wait for it to come back up and take it back down. As you can see, market's going down, wait for it to come back up, take it back down. Say you missed this one. Wait for it to come down, take it back up, and take it back down. There's no such thing as missing a trade. It's just about waiting for your entry. All right? Awesome. So let's go and let's check this out down here. So you know, we're going to be waiting for price to get bullish. So say price got bullish right here, right? If you took this up here, you could easily just be out for a quick scalp. That's some good money for the day. Easily just be out from here to here. Boom. Go ahead and catch that out. Boom. Get off for the day. Especially with some size. A lot of the traders that I study, Nor Trades, Umar Ostrov and stuff like that, sometimes they don't, especially Nor Trades, if you've heard of him, he catches like 0.50 cents. Lander Streisler, a really good option trader as well. He doesn't catch that many points, but I'm teaching you how you're going to be able to catch the whole landslide and catch the all-day trades by scaling out. They would make a lot more money if they just had all their levels marked out, but they still are able to become millionaire status by just catching their consistent piece of the move. And that's it. So say price came right here, right? You see some shorting? Could very easily just take it down from here to here or something like that, or take it from here to right here. Do something like this. 1 to 3 is what I like to play for, at least bare minimum. And then boom, go ahead and catch something like this. And yeah, if I see price shorting here, and it gives you some time here too. You have like 3 minutes here to react and study it here. You don't have to just instantly get in. You know, wait for price to give you some reactions. See how it looks. All right, bet I'm gonna go ahead and get in. This looks cool. Even right here, if price broke through this daily resistance, came down, and I saw this wick, and then came down and did it again, I'll be like, all right, bet I'll be able to go ahead and take it to at least up here. You know, so many different trades, so many different stuff you could so many different stuff and different things you could take. As you can see, this would be a 1 to 3 as well. You know, if I see price, I'll just put a stop loss below this wick right here, and then just go ahead and just wait for it and see how it works. Literally, so many different trades you could have taken, and it's just about waiting to see if price wants to hold these areas or not. I'll say about like 1 to 4 times a week. Like this week, I think I traded like twice. I won that really good SPY trade, and then I won something else. I caught the all-day landslide on Monday. Yeah, yeah. So I traded twice this week. I saw price come to the Apple entry, but it's end of the day. I don't take trades at the end of the day. So that's why I gave you guys that text update. So I'm just gonna see what happens in the morning time and just re-clean it up. You got to be very. Oh, how many times? Oh, just once. Just once. Just once. Yeah, just once. Don't just because you see all these re-entries, don't think that, oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and take all of it and run it up. That's why I like options too, because on futures and forex, you can very easily do that stupid shit and destroy your life and destroy your account. Very, 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 very easily. Very easily. Very easily. But on options, there's things like settled funds, so you literally can't do that. So that's why it's really, very, really nice to be patient. Say you missed this entry right here, right? Price. This is our regular trading hours. That's why you're seeing all these gaps. But say price, and that's why I like regular trading hours, because if price is spawning right here on my levels for me, I'll go to electronic, see where it's at during pre-market study. But electronic a lot of the times just shows you like a lot of stupid stuff that you don't like. You don't need to see this. Like maybe like 10 minutes before market close when I do my levels, but a lot of times like I pretty much know what's going on. But say if you were to like just miss, there's no such thing as missing an entry, but like there's so many different chances. There literally is so many different chances. Like here, you had like 100 different chances to catch a long. Like if you couldn't catch a long this day, you just, I don't know. I don't know. Like here, price held this monthly resistance here, right? Boom. You could have got a re-entry at this daily resistance right here. You could have got a re-entry at this daily resistance. You could have got a re-entry at this daily resistance. That's 3 chances. That's 3 chances after the ultimate entry. Same thing, especially in downtrends, bro. Boom. Let me go and let me see where price. Let me go to where price started at. Right here, 9:30 on this Thursday, right? I missed this on this day. I still won this trade, but I missed my ultimate entry. So cool. I was just clicking around. So I saw price chilling right here at 9:30, and I'm actually glad I did that because it faked this out, decided to push a little higher and short up here, right? Cool, that happens sometimes. That's why I don't always take the first reaction. I like to wait and see. Because if market's trending, my re-entry will be valid. You know what I'm saying? So cool. So you could easily just waited for market to come down here, and then I think I was just clicking around on different pairs, and then I saw market come in here and do this. Once I saw market break underneath this resistance, and then come up and start doing some shorter from here, I took it down. And I'm pretty sure I easily took it down. This is like the $100 trade very quickly. I'm pretty sure I just took it down quickly to like, I saw price longing right here. So I just took it down to there real quick. So I just took it from here. I'm going to pull that stop loss up here. Take profit down here. Boom. And then boom. And a lot of times I like to get in like slightly after the reaction, and then I use that as my stop loss. So I'll wait like a minute, something like that. If I see like a good wick, I'll be like, bet, I'm going to just get in, take it. Because if you see price action in your zone, that's going to be your best chance. And cool. And once again, stocks are 10 times easier than 0DTE's SPY and QQQ. You're going to get bigger moves too. Like Nvidia, if you do this, like this was the, I don't know where I marked this. I just was marking some stuff. I do a lot of classes. But right here, right? This was easy. This was Friday. See price literally just created this resistance right here, right? See price literally just bounced on it, right? Stocks is stupid. Stocks is stupid. Stocks is like way easier than indices. That's why a lot of the times I'll play some SPY QQQ sometimes if I'm feeling it. If it's a clean setup, you know, make some quick bread. They're cheap cons and they move quick. But if I'm not feeling it, I won't force it because stocks just move stupid. So yeah, you know, you catch this on video, that's gonna be really nice right here. And yeah. Oh, same thing from here too. Remember, line, see a price long right here, right? Oh wait, price shorted right here too, right? Boom. So same thing. I don't believe in that. Market just has to work in a specific way. It's either it bounces at the line or it doesn't. That's it. And yeah. So cool. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So yes, sir. I hope today's session was very, very informative. Um yeah. Oh, what? So let's go ahead and let's get into how to trade one-on-one. So today's lesson, we're pretty much just going to be talking about market structure. As we keep going into it, as you're an options trader, we're going to talk about the best contracts to buy and stuff like that, etc. After we've gone ahead and talked about how to find our entries, take profits, and stuff like that, etc. Because then that's when that stuff comes into play. Okay, so today we're just going to be talking about market structure and what support is, what resistance is, etc., and how they correlate with each other. So we're going to go ahead and see here that price normally starts at 0 on a lot of charts. So this is going to go ahead and be the Apple chart here. So we can go ahead and conclude that most charts, whether it be it crypto, stocks, whatever, anything, start at 0 pretty much. So the fact that most charts start at 0 lets us know the point of the market is for it to go up. So there's going to be futures and options trading. Those are going to be aggressive forms of trading. And you could trade futures on crypto, indices, and then, you know, options. You do have it for stocks, and as well you could trade the options indices as well. And forex too, so the aggressive form. So futures, forexes, and options are going to be the aggressive forms of trading. But ultimately, plenty of people profit by just buying and holding. So we can concur that the only reason market goes down is to collect ammo, also known as what's called liquidity, which is money from losing traders, to go back up. So once again, most charts do start at 0. So that pretty much lets us know that the point of the market is for it to go upward. Plenty of people, majority of the people, just buy and hold. People buy S&P 500 shares. People just buy crypto casually, and they end up becoming profitable because the goal of it is to go upward. Most of the time, a lot of the charts that you're going to look at, all-time highs, is going to be nowhere near where price started at when it first launched. And that's because the goal of it, once again, is for it to go upwards. So, keeping that in mind, we can concur that the only reason that the market goes down after going up is to collect liquidity so it can go back up. Okay? So, we're going to go ahead and talk about some things right here. So, if we can concur that the market goes up, and the point of it is to go upward, and the point of it going down is so it can go back upward and break new all-time highs over and over and over and over and over again, we can concur that the market is a staircase. So, now that we know that the market is a staircase, we can go ahead and analyze something here. So, if the market starts at 0, pretty much, that means that something called resistance has to come before support. And resistance is going to be an area where price falls down from. That means that resistance, an area where price falls down from, comes before support. So resistance later turns into support. And support is going to be an area where market bounces upward from. So if market pretty much starts at 0, correct? So this is going to be the start of the market here. So if market pretty much starts at 0 right here, then we can go ahead and see that, okay, price decides to go up and create this kind of top here. When market decides to create these little tops, these are going to be called areas of resistance. And this is resistance because price fell down here. Correct? Okay. So after price decides to go ahead and fall down, one day, price is going to come back near the resistance, and it's going to break through it. So price isn't just going to continuously short here over and over again. It's not just going to keep falling here over and over and over again. One day, price is going to decide to do something called a breakout. So when price breaks an area of support or resistance, that is going to be called a breakout. So we know this is an area of resistance because price decided to fall down from here, correct? So price decided to not fall down from this area anymore. and it decided to do something what's called a breakout. So price decided to not short here like it did, and it decided to go ahead and break out through. So after that, we can go ahead and still use the same area of resistance as information. We're going to go ahead and see here that after this breakout happens, price decides to no longer short from this area of resistance. Price decides to go ahead and come back down to the area of resistance. After price decides to come back down to the area of resistance, it decides to kind of bottom out and starts curling, doing a V-shaped curl. So we can go ahead and see here that this area of resistance has now turned into support. So this is support because price decided to go ahead and bounce upward from here. So as we can go and see here, concurring with both of these pieces of information, we can go and see here that resistance turned into support. Okay, so I'm going to let you just soak this in here for a second. So price started at 0, right? This is the beginning of all time. Boom. Price decided to make some resistance. Just fell down. After it fell down, price broke through the area of resistance. After price broke through the area of resistance, price decided to make another area of resistance. And then price decided to go ahead and fall down and meet up with this area of resistance right here. Then from there, we can use the previous area of resistance as our entry and the resistance that was just created as our take profit. So then we'd very easily be able to go ahead and do something like this. I like to play for like a 1-to-4 restore ratio, but we'll talk about that more as the mentorship continues. And your long setups would go ahead and look something just like this. So ideally, in order for the staircase to continue, price is going to try to long at areas of resistance. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and see this live. As we can go ahead and see here, price started pretty much at 0, correct? Okay. Price decided to go ahead, burst up, even from the first trades all time. We'll take it this far. Boom. Price decided to start at 0, came up here, bursted up, made this area of resistance right here, correct? Check out when I put a line near here. Or you know what I like to do sometimes is draw the little zone. So I'll start from the top of this area of resistance and I'll draw it to like these candles down here. So I'm going to start at the top of this area of resistance right here. And then I see some more areas of resistance kind of down here as well too, these. So you're able to see these here? So that's why I drew the zone. As we can go ahead and see, once price decided to go ahead, fall down from this area here, create a resistance, correct? Just like the staircase we talked about, price decided to not short from this area anymore, correct? Boom. Check it. We're going to go ahead and see over here, though, if I put a line at the top of this resistance right here, guess what happens over here? You see price decides to go ahead and break out. So, price didn't short here again and broke through the area of resistance. After price broke through the area of resistance, it retested that area of resistance and held that area and turned it into support. So the market can continue the staircase. So as we can go ahead and see here, this area of resistance, right? Price decided to short from this area over here, correct? But then price over here decided to break through it, correct? Once price broke through it, we came here, we got a retest near these resistance wicks here. I like to draw the zone because a lot of times it'll be just a lot of them, it'll be the resistance wicks just near a zone. So boom, it kind of chose these ones down here. But then we use these ones down here as stop loss because if it doesn't bounce down here, we truly lost. And as we can see, this structure right here, see how price decided to kind of break up, do a little kind of little bottom right here. So I know that it could potentially be these resistance wicks right here too. So that's why I use my stop loss down here, because I know if price doesn't bounce at this one down here, then we definitely lost because there's no other one other than these two right here. And that's too far. So that's why I draw my zones like this. So I know it's going to bounce between one of these, inshallah, God wills. And as we can go ahead and see, price decided to go ahead and do that and continue up. All right. And it's just about finding the exact wicks over and over again. As we go ahead and see, price decided to react off of this wick right here. See? Continuous staircase. And it just continues over and over again. Once again, it's just about finding the correct wicks. Once you find the correct wicks, it gets extremely, extremely easy. And you're going to be able to just go ahead and farm over and over again. You see this here. See how reactive these resistances are to continue the staircase. And sometimes, depending on certain ones, you may need to scale down on smaller time frames. Like right here, for example. So the smallest time frame you're going to go to is the daily. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you this now. So the time frames you're going to be using to find your entries plus take profit is the monthly, weekly, and the daily. After that, you can scale down to like the 5 minute or something. And check it out in close range. But you're pretty much just going to be using the monthly, weekly, and the daily, though, to find all your entries and take profits. And you're going to be looking for, you're going to be marking lines at areas of resistance on your higher time frames. Then you're going to scale down and read the trend after your levels are drawn. Okay? So cool. So let me go ahead and see if there's any resistance wick near here. There's support. All right, and as you can go ahead and see, there is. You go and see this here. But as we can go and see here, let me make it yellow. When I was on the monthly, we didn't see that, right? There's no wicks. See how there's no resistance wicks in between this yellow line? But price just stopped here. That's why we have to use our weekly. And these are the first trades of all time, sir. It gets much easier because there's a lot more market structure now. But I'm just showing you that this works in the beginning of time. But yeah, as we can go and see, came in contact with this resistance wick and then held here. And it's just about finding the right resistance wicks, okay? All right. So that's going to go ahead and be that. So we know that support is going to be when price decides to bottom out and bounce upward. So support is going to be an area where price bounces upward from. And we know that resistance, as we can see, like right here, where price bounces downward from, that's going to be an area where price decides to fall down. All right? Okay. And we know that support gets created off of resistance. Okay. Please write that down in your notes if you happen to have your journal. Support gets created from resistance. That is the only way the staircase could work. If market bounced from supports over and over again, everyone would be rich and no one would lose. So a lot of people think that, oh, price is coming to a support, let me go ahead and long it there again. No. That's flawed. That's flawed. Price would never break into new all-time highs if price continuously bounced as supports over and over again. The market would be significantly more sideways. Now, a lot of the times, the support will be there because of resistance, 99% of the time. So that's why sometimes people just mark supports and it ends up working out, not knowing that it's just a strong area of resistance there too. Because you have to read the market from left to right. So how can there be support before resistance? That doesn't make sense. You feel me? So if price pretty much starts at 0, how can there be support before resistance? There pretty much can't be. So resistance is going to be the first thing that matters, and then price has to start. As you can see, the first trade of all time, looking at Apple from the 80s. If I put a line near this resistance right here, we're going to go ahead and see that price decided to try and hold some buying here. And then price decided to not hold this top one too well. Came down to this area down here and held these area of resistance down here a lot better. Once again, it's just to be about finding the right one. And a lot of the times, the answer will give it for you. I'm going to keep going. But a lot of times, the setup will look like this too. So it'll do like a break, give a little retest, and then it'll give a second real tap of that. But we're going to keep getting into that, how to find that. And that's usually how you can tell which good resistance is going to go ahead and be. All right? So yeah. Boom. And that price kept coming down, and it's just going to see which resistance it wants to hold. Once it decides to hold a strong zone, and then it's going to decide to stay bullish from there. Like once we see price decide to go and hold this area here, then you could easily see that price can stay bullish from here. And then just keep farming the trend depending on how strong it is. Keep going up. Once again, the time frames I'm going to need you to focus on is going to be your monthly time frame, your weekly time frame, and your daily time frame. The things you're going to be paying most attention to on those time frames are going to be the resistance wicks. Okay? So, I'm going to go ahead and start from start to finish how I would find a setup. Okay? With current price. So, what I'm going to go ahead and do is realize this here. So I like to go ahead and always look at the current candlestick first. So I like to look at the current candlestick on the monthly and see where we last bounced from. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and see here, right? So I see price decided to bounce from right here, right? Okay. But I also do see this monthly resistance wick right here. So I'm paying attention to the resistances because I'm waiting for price to bounce at these resistances up. So I'm going to go ahead and put a line at this monthly resistance here. I'm looking at the most current candlestick, which is going to be the most right candlestick. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is start off on the monthly. And put a line on the last place where price bounced from. So no matter what chart I'm looking at, this is Apple here. If I was looking at Nvidia here, same thing on the monthly. I will go to the monthly, look at this candlestick right here, right? And I would see, okay, so we last bounced from here. If I was on Robinhood, I would do the same thing here. I would look at the most current candlestick, and I'll go ahead and put a line at the bottom of it. I'll be like, okay, we just bounced there. That's the first thing I like to go ahead and do, is just put a line at the most recent bounce on the monthly there. Okay? So, I'm going to start on the monthly here, and I'll draw my line like either at the most recent resistance near current price, or I'll just draw it at the bottom like this and trickle my way up. Okay? So for here, I'll just go ahead and I'll go to the most current candle, get on the monthly, and look at where price bounced from. So this is going to be the start of the monthly candle. I'm going to put it at the bottom of it here and work my way up. Okay. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and be able to realize, okay, cool. What else do I go ahead and see? I see I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. So after I put it at the bottom of the support here, I'm going to be looking for resistances. So the second thing I'm going to do okay. Second thing I like to go ahead and do is look for resistances below current price that we already broke through. Okay? So I'm looking for resistances that we already broke through. So current price is up here, correct? 240.36, the dotted line. This is current price right here. It'll tell you right here with the dotted and tell you in the bottom right on Trading View. I'm going to go ahead and look for the resistances that were already broken past, because price didn't short from here. And remember, what did I let you know? We're looking for price to bounce at resistances, correct? So let me go ahead and put lines at the old resistances. A lot of the times I like to just draw a zone, so I'll do something like this. If I'll see these two wicks, right? Like something like these two. I'll grab a zone, start from like the top of this wick right here, and go to the top of this one right here. And I'll go ahead and I'll let it go and lock it. So you see why I drew the zone? From the top of this wick right here to the top of this wick right here. Okay? So that's how I like to go ahead and do it, and I'll keep working my way up. Yeah, you can do something like that. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and see these two up here. $236, $237. You could just probably do like one zone like here too. Okay. Now I'm going to scale down to my smaller time frame. So remember, I was on the monthly. I went and I put a line at the bottom support on the current candle. The current candle is going to be the most right. All I did was put a line right here at the most recent support. Then from there, I looked at the resistances we decided to go ahead and break through. Look for resistances we broke through. And when looking for a long trade, wait for price to bounce at these resistances. Okay? So, after I've gone ahead and drew a line at the support, I'm going to see, because I see price is super bullish, especially if we're breaking through resistances, we're very bullish. So, I see price breaking through these resistances, so let me just put some lines and zones near them. So this is just using the monthly, right? So now I'm going to go to my 15-minute or 5-minute real quick, scale down. And I'm just going to check some things out. See when's the last time price decided to came near these areas. So price bounced all the way down from here on the 3rd of February and remained bullish all the way too, okay? Okay, cool. So now, let me go ahead and check something out here. So after I've gone ahead and noticed this here, I'm going to be able to just use this as my guidance. So, I'm going to be looking for these. So a lot of the times you should be looking for this, especially when long trades, you're going to be looking for these kind of big wick downs here before price decides to remain bullish again. These are going to be re-entries. So you see how price decided to keep stair-stepping? So it's just about finding the correct entries off those. Okay. So now that I've gone ahead and used my monthly and for guidance, I can go ahead and check something out here. Okay. I can do a few things here. So I can either catch the day trade entry or wait for a longer swing trade. I'm going to show you both ways here. A lot of the times after you've drawn your zone, I'm going to go ahead and let you know something. Your trade should have already happened in the past. Okay? So as we can go and see here, let's take a look at this middle line right here, right? Let's just take a look at the reactions. Remember, all I did was use the monthly and put a line at the resistances. That's all I did. That's all I did, correct? Monthly resistances. Now I'm on my 5-minute checking some things out. 15-minute. Cool. So I see price coming in contact with here. See some decent shorting. Broke through it a little bit. See some nice shorting from here. Okay. Let's keep checking it out. Okay. Ooh. What do I see here? Soon as price came in contact with our zone, some bullish price action. Okay. I like this. I like this. Okay. Get on my 1 hour here. Ooh, okay. Price came in contact with this little blue and shorted hard. I like this. Okay. Ooh, price came in contact with the blue, shorted hard. Ooh, price came in contact with the blue, shorted hard. Ooh, price came in contact with the blue, shorted hard. Price loves this zone. This is a strong zone, huh? Okay. So, now that I know price loves this zone, I'm going to go ahead and see if price will want to hold this zone. So, here is what you can go ahead and do. So I know that price likes the zone. Price hasn't been here in about like a week-ish. Okay. So I think we might expect a bounce from this middle blue line right here, correct, right? That's just personally what I think. I think we need a middle blue line bounce before we continue bullish. Okay. So now I'm going to be able to use this old information in order for us to go ahead and make trades. So if I know price is trying to come in contact with these monthly resistance zones, right? Either this one, or this one, right? Well, price already bounced here. But I'm waiting for price to come either in this middle one or this one right here. So now I can go ahead and see, okay, I should probably be able to go ahead and short before price decides to go ahead and long back up. Because price has to go ahead and come down before we come back up. So let me go ahead and show you how people find short trades. So now I know I'm expecting a bounce at either this middle area or this area right here, correct? Okay. Why? Because we go ahead and see some clean answers right here. So you can go ahead and see price held this little zone right here, gapped up next day. Nice price action, spike down. Yeah, nice price action here near this little zone. I think price needs to hold here and do that again, personally. But before price has to get here, it has to go down. So now let's go and let's find a short trade. Cool. So now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is look for areas of resistance. So now, just like I did, putting an area at the support when looking for longs, and we're looking for areas of resistance breaking, correct? I'm going to go ahead and just put a candlestick at the very top of the most recent monthly resistance. So to find a short, know where price is trying to long, because this is a bullish market. So you have to know both things. You have to know where price is trying to go, where price is trying to ultimately bounce at, where buyers are trying to be stepping in at. Okay? And then you're going to be able to catch some shorts. So put a line on the recent resistance on the monthly and scale down. Okay? So I'm going to put a line on the recent resistance on the monthly, correct? Just like I did the support. So now I know the range right now. So I know that price decided to bounce between these two yellow lines, correct? Okay. Now I know the monthly range. I think price is going to try and hold these areas before getting bullish, correct, right? So now, let me see if I can find a short trade before, and to take profit into one of these areas. So now, we went ahead and drew a line at the very top of this resistance right here. Cool. After we've gone ahead and realized that, let's go ahead and let's do the next resistance down, correct? I see another one right here. Let's draw another one here. Now I'm going to go to my weekly and do the same thing. Sure, I'm zoomed out. Okay, I'm good. You make sure you're zoomed out. You don't want to be missing any candles. Some charts, there's like none. But on other charts like Robinhood and stuff like that, there's going to be weekly candles like all the way to the left. But something like Apple is just chilling at all-time highs, so it's just going to be easy a lot of the times. So cool. Let me make sure my lines are exact. And remember, all I'm doing is marking the resistances, sir. That's all I'm doing. Here I would do like a little zone in between these two. I hope you see why I'm doing these two. I would do one right here. And I'm doing all of them above current price. Because remember, price didn't bounce here, right? So I'm looking for price to just short here. All you're doing is just reverse engineering. So if I know price needs to bounce here, and price didn't bounce here then I could use these as short entries and use these as take profits. And all I'm doing is using my monthly, weekly, and daily and going there and just marking lines at the resistances. Boom, right here. Cool. Now I'm going to go and scale down to my 5-minute. Ah, what do we go ahead and see here? Nice double top entry. Price decided to go ahead and trickle down, correct? Okay, cool. All fine. All right. Let's say we missed that. All good, all good, all good. Price opened up for us right at 9:30. Got the line. Gave us a re-entry here. And decided to trickle down. All good, all good. So I would have did something like this. Stop loss up here. And then, take profit down here. Catch a 1 to 5.75. And you could just use the previous little levels as stop losses. But anyways, let's keep trickling down, right? So price already decided to short from here, correct? Let's say we missed it. Oh, man. Cool. So let's see if we can go ahead and find a re-entry here. So, remember, all I did was put lines at the resistances, correct? So I found all the ones I could find above current price, because price didn't bounce here at these places, correct? So these could be bearish entries. And I'm looking for price to bounce at these, because price failed me. It didn't bounce at these. It already failed me. It didn't bounce at these. So these are my next hope. Correct? Okay. Or potentially this one right here too. So I know that anything below current price is trying to bounce at any of these. So I'm like, all right, bet. So now I'm out of resistances on the weekly that price broke past. I see we missed the entry here. Happened in the morning time. All fine. That was today. Would have been a very, very easy, crazy Apple trade today. All fine. Stocks, options is ridiculously easy, especially when you get good at finding the levels. You're going to be able to catch a trade pretty much every day. Just stick to your stop loss, and your risk management is going to be one of the most important things. So cool. All right, that's going to go ahead and be that. Oh, man. Missed the trade. Sag. Oh, well. Let's go and let's keep trickling down. So I see some more right here, too. See this one right here? And then this one right here? So I'm going to put a line there, correct? Same thing with here. Here, you could probably just draw like one big zone, honestly. If they're like close, you could like draw a zone like this and just make your chart cleaner. Okay? So now I'm still looking above current price. I see a resistance right here, and I see one right here, correct? So I'm going to draw a zone on these two as well. Now, okay, I'm pretty much out of resistances above current price. I'm not going to lie. So now I'm going to go down to my 5-minute. And I'm going to go ahead and check some things out. Or you can go to the 1-minute, 5-minute, whatever you want. So I see price deciding to... And all I did was just trickle down the resistances, correct? Okay. So this is the 9:30 entry here. Price decided to come up on this yellow line, come down from here. It came down, gave us a re-entry here, correct? So I think that price might come up, give us a re-entry here. Because I see price decide to curl down, gave us a break, a retest, and then trickle down. So I think price might come up and give us a retest of here, if I'm not mistaken, before we short again. But before we do that, I think we need to bounce up. So price might bounce here on the weekly first. Remember, all I did was draw lines at the resistances. So before we can go up, we have to go down. So I think price might do this, bounce here, up, and then back down. So I think price might bounce at this one, and then go up. Go on my daily, look for these resistance candles right here. And then go ahead and continue downward. Or price could easily try and bounce at these two resistance candles right here if price trickles down. A lot of the times, like in the morning time, it'll just be really easy for you to know which one it's going to be. So, yeah. Like at 9 o'clock, it'll be like, boom, it'll just be set up for you, and you should be cool. Ah, what do we go and see here? price hard chilling at the end of the day. So we'll see here. So we'll either get a reaction here or we get a reaction up here. I personally might wait for this one up here. But price could easily chill here, dump hard to right here, and that could be it. Quick little trade. But I think price might want to short at this little turquoise line here first. So I'm going to ignore this one. You don't want to get burned doing close trades. So I would personally do something like this. Do something like this. Like around a 1 to 3 here would be cool. I wouldn't be mad with that. So price already shorted from up here. So I don't know if we'll get a re-entry, but if we do, we should get a re-entry from right here. I'm just going to keep scaling down. I'm just keep scaling. I see some key support right here. I definitely do like that. Support being created. I definitely do like that. So I think price is going to try and come up to this line here and then short down to continue this little downtrend here that we're in. And there's not that much price action over there, so I'm confident in that. And I see price decide to come right here too and then short, so I like that too. And stop loss up there if you wanted. And that first take profit right here. It'd probably go all the way down here, but just first one right here just to be safe. And then I would just take a trade something like this. And all I did, the only thing I did, sir, was get on monthly, weekly, and I don't even think I stepped on the daily yet. But all I did was just look for resistance wicks. And that's it. I did go on the daily. And there's not that many. There's not that many. Especially on certain charts. Like an Apple chart here, like this trade right here on Apple should be fairly free. And yeah. And let me just see here. So yeah, it really just depends too on the morning time. Like if you get a nice gap up and you see it's morning time and market's chilling like right here, and you see some bearish, it'll probably be bearish right there. But if it's here, then it'll probably be here. Well, a lot of the times after you do this, it'll be a win. A great deal of the time, it'll be a win. A lot of the times, market will set up for you right in the morning, right where it needs to be. Here at 9:30, we're kind of near this yellow line. Let's see here, go to exactly 9:30. So literally, market open and it wicked right here. Give us a little slight re-entry 2 minutes later and dump down heavy. And then final take profits down here. So let me see let me see why we bounced from right there. Is there any resistance wicks? No. So I think price might go lower. So yeah, price needs to at least come in contact with the resistance wicks. So yeah, I would wait for either price to come up and then short it again. And then yeah, just wait for that. Or you could long it. Either one. Most of the time, the trade is going to work on both ends because just like that SPY trade I went in and showed you, price has to go up to go down. It has to go down to go up. So price has to do both of those things in order for it to move. So it's just about finding your piece of the pie. You know, that's why I don't believe in the word strategy. There's no such thing as strategy. Price action literally can only move one way. And look, check this out over here too. I just saw this. Remember what I told you? You should always give your answer. So I like this over here. So I think price might decide to try to hold this. So if price hold this here, this could easily be a bullish area right here too. Because remember, price has to go up to go down, correct? So you could very easily, if price decides to hold this here in the morning, you could easily long here too. You can easily do something like this if you want. Yeah. This could hold, honestly. And yeah, I do have a lot of faith in that. That's on the daily. A lot of the times, a lot of re-entries are going to be just given to you for free on the daily. And then, yeah. And then you see how price decided to curl right here and bounced up into all-time highs? Price will try and hold that and do it again. So I think this is actually the trade for tomorrow. So, yeah. You could take it either way. And yeah, I think price wants to potentially remain bullish. Potentially. But price definitely has to go up to go down. But I think we'll get a strong retest of like this area right here. So I think market might do this. And then, yeah, it should, yeah, obviously not going to be in a straight line, but I think it'll do this. Yeah. If we hold this yellow line, we probably should definitely do this. Because if we short, because we need a re-entry short here. Near this. See this candle? And then you see the buying over here? It's like they need each other. You see what I mean? So, yeah, if price comes up here and starts shorting heavy, we'll go down heavy. But if price comes up here and hold, we'll definitely go up here and then short here. So, yeah. So, there's no such thing as a strategy. Market needs each other. Market has to go down to go up, and it has to go down, or has to go up to go down. But always keep in mind that the point of this is for it to go into all-time highs, okay? All right. So cool. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, and remember, the only thing that you have to do, go to your monthly, weekly, and daily, and just start marking out the resistance wicks. Once again, if I'm on NVIDIA here, and you're going to get really fast out of here, I can do it pretty fast. If I'm on NVIDIA here, I can do something like this. I can easily draw the candle, draw the bottom of the most current candle, and then I'll draw the top of the most current candle like this, correct? Okay, after this, I'm going to go ahead and look from the bottom up, because the point of it is for it to break into new all-time highs. I'm going to look at the resistances that we're breaking through. Okay? Now I'm going to go to my weekly and do the same exact thing. And if I see stuff close to each other, I'm going to clean up my charts and just draw some zones near them instead. And then I'm just going to keep on looking for these areas. Okay. Cool. So now I'm going to go my 5-minute here. What do I go ahead and see here? I see price holding this area here kind of towards the end of the day, correct? Okay. So I see price holding from here. So let me just read it from back to front. Okay. So this is the ultimate Goku low right here. And price has been stair-stepping at these resistances over time, correct? See how easy and free this is? You could win every single trade if you wanted to. As long as your analysis is correct, I genuinely believe you can win, could easily have a 90% win rate. Easily, very easily, very easily, very easily. But market is very reactive off these resistances, and especially on stocks, it's very very easy. Um, but yeah, so all you're gonna do is just wait for price to react into one of these areas, and then see if you'll go ahead and get a re-entry. I see price. I think price might want to come in between these two right here, because we don't have a clean tap of holding here. And you see this right here? I like that. So we broke past this area of resistance, kind of gave a little retest there, and just try to continue. But yeah, I'm gonna see if price decides to try and hold this blue zone area. Okay, and then yeah, so if I see some bullish reaction in between here that matches this, I would definitely go ahead and take that. Let me see. Let me look at time. Price went up. Did price go up today? So yeah, we may need to go down, maybe like between here, before we go back up. So yeah, price might do something like this. It might choose the bottom one here. And you could always check it out on the 5 minute, like it should look clean after you do it. So let me go ahead and just put that one there. See how it looks. Drag it up. Drag the one up here. See how this one looks. Okay, this one here. Drag it up. Okay, this one here kind of looks good. Okay, so I like that. So I'm a big fan of this resistance right here. So now after that, I'm going to go to my daily, and I'm going to look for the resistances near the yellow line that I like. Okay? And then I'm just going to draw my zone and just look for some good candles. So maybe something like right here. Yeah, I think price should try to bounce between like right here and up here. Because of this resistance right here. And when you see resistance and support near each other, that's a good thing. Resistance right here. Resistance right here. Resistance right here. Resistance right here. And there's lots of support here as well too. So price came here at the end of the day. So price might possibly give a re-entry for here. If it does, we would definitely be able to go ahead and take that again. So that's going to go ahead and be the next zone there. And then, so we know price like to go ahead and bounce from here. And then we could easily just go ahead and trickle up from here. So we know that price already likes this one heavy. So it could be like, okay, cool, let me just draw lines. Let's draw a zone on these. And then pretty much, you see here, so that double bottom candle there too. Let me get on my daily. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and drag it down to these daily resistances. I'll probably start it from right here. And I'll end it to about up there. And then if I scale on my 5 minute, see how there's these two wicks near here? I like that. And remember, I just used my weekly. I saw this one down here, and then I scaled down. I saw that was kind of a little off. So if I go to my weekly and I put a line at this resistance, 5 minute, I don't see anything really here. This price clips through it, so I know price chose a deeper retracement. So that's why I went on my daily, and I went ahead and I just looked for these resistances right here. And then we see what happens once price decides to come in contact with this area of resistance right here in this zone, correct? See that? So I think price will do that again. So if price comes down, does that, and then price should be able to easily go back up, and you should very easily be able to take a trade like this. Just like this. And that's how you go ahead and just farm day trades every single day. Just like this. Just like this. And the only thing we did was just go from the monthly, weekly, daily, draw lines at the resistance. If you're looking for longs, like you should see little price action that looks like this. Like little break and retest, I call it. Tiny little break and retest. Boom, boom, boom. And then, yeah, just wait for another real tap of that. So it'll always look like this once, and then price will come down and give it a real tap again, and then blast. So this is what I call the welfare tap. This is the instant break and retest, and then after break and retest, it'll give a real tap a lot of the times. Yes, sir. So no matter what chart you're looking at, I want you to just analyze the monthly resistance wicks, weekly resistance wicks, and then go down to your daily and use your 5 minute and just see how things should look. And you should see things kind of curling into your zones like this. And if not, then you know you need to look for a different wick. Once again, if I'm on the weekly here, and I see this was just this wick right here, and I just draw something, and I scale down, and I see price just clip through it and didn't hold it yet, then I'm like, okay, I don't know if price is going to hold that entirely yet. It might have chose a different wick and might try it again. So that's when I went to my daily, saw these wicks over here, went to my 5 minute, and I saw this price makes a little bit more sense. Okay. And all we're doing is using the wicks. Sometimes it's just going to be stupid easy, though, like this on Google. Sometimes it's literally just this. Something like this. You know? Price just comes in contact with the monthly resistance. Right there. Price just came in contact with it. Options is this simple. And you see how just one day, 9:30, right? Right in the morning, boom, TP, about a day later. Oh, again. End of the day, TP, and then remember, the TP was used for the short entry. And guess what? What time is that, sir? Exactly. See how manipulated options is? It's a joke. As long as you draw the right levels, it'll literally be there for you every day. That's how I'm able to give signals like that, because I just draw the levels and then see where price spawns at in the morning time, and yeah, you just react. And that's it. Alrighty, sir. So I hope that session did help. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the course as well. I'm going to keep updating the course. So cool. Here's how we're going to be able to go ahead and find trades. We're just going to be able to trade exactly what's going to be right in front of us. I'm going to make it as easy as possible, inshallah. And then we're going to be able to go ahead and get straight into it. So boom. Let's check these things out. So let's start off with our drawing here. So let's say, once again, back to our normal example, you opened up a stock. Started off at 0. Okay? Price decided to go ahead and trickle upward and create a tippity top point. After price created a tippity top point, it'll fall down. And when price creates a tippity top point and falls down, that's going to be called an area of resistance. Exactly. Resistance is an area where price decides to short downward from. Okay, so whenever you see price shorting downward from an area, that's going to be called an area of resistance. Okay, now whenever you do see price coming upward from an area, that's going to signify an area of support. So support is an area where price decides to bounce upward from. Okay, boom. So today's session, we're just going to go over some chart work and stuff like that. And then at the end of the call, I'm going to have you open up your trading view and just get the hands on and start marking out a setup. So boom. So support is going to be an area where price decides to bounce upward from, and resistance is an area where price decides to bounce downward from. So keeping these two things in mind, we can go ahead and put into perspective that, okay, since market is a staircase, we can assume that the only way a staircase could work within a vertical sense is if resistance turns into support. So as we can go ahead and see here, with these two connecting things, resistance turns into support since the market works in a upwards staircase. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out here. I want you to go ahead and see here on this chart how it started. Let's just say from right here. See how Amazon just started from down here? But market decides to slowly trickle up in a slow staircase. So you see how eventually we do get higher, even though it keeps going up and then down. Eventually we do get higher, correct? That's because market is a staircase. So even though it's doing all this going up and down, go up and down, market's a staircase. And you want to know why this works? I can go to any random area, go on my higher time frame, and I just want to be able to just show you this clearly. So check this out. As you can see, price spams this over and over and over and over again. Okay, spams this over and over and over again. All you have to do is find the key area of resistance. Okay, after the key area of resistance is found, and we're going to slow it down again once we do keep going over, but all we're doing here is waiting for resistance. So price got above this key area of resistance here. So all we're doing is waiting for resistance, and it chose some of the resistances down here, so it would have been in a stop loss. So we'll drag it from this resistance right here to the ones like down here. These two. So we'll make this because there's no more resistances. We'll say below here, right? This would be the bottom range. Okay. So this is going to be the top of the tippity point of resistance, and then we do want market to have a stop loss. So once market got above this resistance, once it fully got above it, as we can see here, the resistance turned into support. So price got above it, resistance. Once it really held above it, it turned into support. So I want you to see this right here. This would be our entry right here. This is exactly how our entries are going to look, okay? So after market gets past the area of resistance, okay? So once market breaks past the top yellow line, correct? Okay, we got this from right here. Okay, once market gets past this, market is going to try and hold the yellow line and turn resistance into support. And you see how we didn't fall all the way down again like from the resistance did? The support held. Candles went from red to green. resistance turned into support, and then as you can see, price went upward. And that would have been our trade. So that's going to be that aspect working on the charts. Now, same thing for support. I'm going to continue to slow this down until we do understand these concepts completely, because it's very simple, and once we do grasp it, it's going to be very powerful. Okay, so boom. Say I'm looking at what's right in front of me. Let's go over here. So I'm on my 4-hour time frame here, and let me play what's going to be right in front of me. Okay, let's say market normally isn't downtrending too often all the time, but we'll say right here, for example. Let me go and find another clean one here. Should see a clean example. Okay. Price broke. Give 2 points down. Okay. So something like this, for example. So with the shorts, because I could just show you like this, but I want you to see an actual trade example of it working. So once support gets broken, all you're pretty much waiting for, a lot of the times the support here that you see randomly where price just comes up is going to have some resistance near it. So on that yellow line, as you can see, there's going to be some strong resistance right here and right here. And the indicator and some resistance right here too. And the indicator to easily tell us this is going to be the swing points and liquidity by Leviathan indicator. And this is going to be fully in the course too, so you'll be able to watch this back. And then settings, and then untick show boxes, show lines, and show volume. And then, let me see here. Because price is going up right now, I'm trying to show you a downward example. Let me go to AMD. So longing is going to be extremely simple, but shorting is where things can get a bit more complicated sometimes. But it just depends. Sometimes it can be really easy though, just like this. There we go. It should be this clean. It should literally be this easy. Price should just break the area of support. See how it got underneath it? And then pulled up and then came back down. That's literally all it should do. That's all it should do. Let me get on my 5-minute time frame here just so we can see things closer. Okay. So right here, price decided to break this support right here. Price decided to go ahead and break the support. And then after the support was broken, finally, took a couple of days, took like 2 weeks. But once it finally did it, so this is what I mean. It's easy to trade with a job. And if you hit this trade, that's like at least 3 paychecks. Even with just one contract. Because as we keep going into it too, I'm going to teach you how contracts work. So you don't even need a whole lot of money. People easily turn 200 to 10,000 in a month or two. Very, very quickly. And then from there, your trade size increases. So all we have to do is wait. And after you have the analytical abilities to just see things, all you have to do is just wait. That's literally all you're doing is just waiting. So support turns into resistance. Okay? And then as we can see here, once price finally decides to get above it and hold, we're going to have instances to where resistance easily turns into some support. So let me go ahead and find it. So we have some resistance turned into support. There we go. Something like this, for example. Here, resistance got broken. Once price really had held above it, turned into support. That's all you're doing is just waiting for it to hold. If you keep seeing price clip through it, it's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. But once price breaks above the resistance and then gives a clean tap, that's your entry. And that's it. So a lot of the times though, once again, it's going to be easiest to just do your charting on your higher time frames and using your higher time frame levels. So I recommend you using your 4-hour time frame, and then you're going to be scaling down to your 1 hour, 30-minute, and then 5-minute, 1 minute. Okay. And then at the end of the call, we're going to set up your trading view and make sure everything's all set up too. Okay. So once again, here's how I would find something from scratch. So I would just go on my 4-hour time frame. Let me see here. Sometimes there's a lot of price action on certain one of these. So I like to start off on my 4-hour time frame and just see where the reactions are at in front of me. So cool. So if I see price decided to go ahead and bounce heavily from this area down here, that's an area of exactly support. So now I'm just going to zoom out. Cool. Why do I see this support being made? This support was made over here because of this resistance. Okay, so now I see support and resistance within the same area. Okay, because resistance turns into exactly. So boom. So exactly. Even right here too, this would have been an easy trade. So as soon as price decided to go ahead and break above this resistance right here, these two resistances on the yellow line, break, and then retest. And they see how price got bullish from there. Very easy. All we have to do is just wait for price to break and retest. That's all we're doing. Break and retest. Break and retest. That's it. After resistance gets broken, it should turn into support, and then we take it up. And that's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. And we're just being patient, waiting for these levels to be broken, taking our time, and just waiting for proper entries to happen. Okay? So this right here, this was like a morning entry here too. See if it lets me go back on my 5 minutes to this entry. Sadly not. But yeah, very, very simple. Just break of resistance into support. And that's it. And then price decides to go ahead and hold. Price went up for a few points. When it went up here. And boom. We're just going to keep studying these reactions. I just want you to see how resistance turns into support and how support turns into resistance. These are the only two things that matter within the market. The only two things. And it's just about getting patient and analyzing the right things. So, say if market was dumping right here, right? Like it's been doing for the past few months, right? If I wanted to catch a short, okay, I would just wait for an area of support. Okay, I would wait for market to make some support. After market makes some support, I'm going to wait for market to go below the support. Okay, and support is going to turn itself into exactly. Let me go zoom in a little bit more. So boom. If I see price deciding to go ahead and break out from an area of support, and you're going to be able to see this is why we enter in. All your entries are going to be on the 1 minute time frame, okay? But you're going to mark your levels on the 4-hour. Today, I just want you to see the reactions. And next session, we still have many classes left. We're going to go over how to mark setups step by step and stuff like that. But yes, yep, all your entries are going to be on the 1 minute because you're going to need to see this. So you see this very simple. I want you to see something here. Check on the 30-minute here. You see how it's invisible on the yellow? Price didn't come up to the yellow on the 30-minute, back up to it. But if I go down, you can see right here, on the 4-hour, price didn't make it to the yellow. But if I go down to my 5-minute or my 1 minute, I would go to my 1 minute, but it's not going to show me all the candles. But on my 5-minute here, you see how price decides to break? You see how price hunted up to the yellow and then shorted? Do I lie? Support into exactly support into resistance. And all I did was just use my 4-hour. All I did was come over here, look at my current price, wait for price to get underneath it, and this is why we do 1 minute entries, because they're higher time frames. They're not going to hide the like real levels from you. You're going to be able to see the key areas of support and resistance, but then after you see them, you're going to have to enter in on your 1 minute. So boom. So if I was looking for a long, I would wait for price to just break above this area of resistance up here, and I wait for this area of resistance to turn into support. And then from there, I'd probably be able to just go ahead and take it up to the next leg right here. Boom, take it up to the next support right here before it makes resistance. And that'll go ahead and be it. That'll be the trade. So I would wait for price to break above this area of resistance, turn resistance into support, and then take it back up to the next area of support, because support turns into resistance. Exactly. And then once price breaks above resistance, in order for us to long, because price already made resistance here, so we just have to wait for price to get above this, turn resistance into support, exactly, and then take it up. And that's it. And the reason why our take profit is going to be at support is because we're expecting resistance to be made here. So that's it. And then boom. All right, so cool. So let's go and let's put this in kind of a logical manner. So why we want to kind of stop scalping or taking as many trades, I'll say take it down to maybe like 1 or 2 setups a week. Should be really just a couple of trades a month, because ideally, while you're grinding your real life business, you know, your portfolio really should just be growing itself. Your accuracy should just be high enough, and that's really how you see people do the big flips to like the 500 to 10,000, 10,000 to 50,000, 50,000 to 100K. So the reason why people are getting those big flips done is because they're catching heftier trades. So instead of exiting trades in and out, you could win 90% of your trades, right? That pretty much doesn't matter versus some guy who just took 1 trade in the entire month and was just holding. You'll still make the same amount as him. You'll have way less stress. And why did you close that trade at break even? So yeah. Gotcha. See, okay, but we don't, that's going to be one thing too. We have to stop doing that. You know, we're in trades to have full belief. So what we're going to go over today is marking out setups where you're going to have full conviction. You shouldn't be closing a trade at break even because you think you're going to lose money. One, you can't do this confidently and scale into the 5, 6, 7, 8 figures if you're scared of losing money. So one thing that I need you to stop doing and pretty much never do again, never close trades at break even. It's stop loss or take profit. Otherwise, you're pretty much just bullshitting. Otherwise, you pretty much just put down a trade for no reason, and you're not confident in the setup, you're not confident in the price action, you're not confident in the value, and you're not using A+ criteria to enter, hence why price is consolidating. And even if price is consolidating, I'm going to also talk about and teach you something too. This is why we size down. Because if price is consolidating, then our stop loss needs to be wide. And this is going to give us some room for our price to fluctuate between our entry, and you're not just going to immediately hit stop loss. Because have you ever gotten in a trade and stop loss got hit, but ultimately your mental direction of how you thought the market was going to move, were you correct? Often, see, very often, and you're pretty much losing money for no reason. You're chipping down money in your account for no reason, when you could have just had size down, use a way bigger stop loss, and then caught the entire move. And that way, when you're sized down and you're comfortable with the amount that you're going to lose, you're not going to be feeling emotional. Because if you're closing trades at break even, you're not going to get to the level that you want to. You might make some money here and there, but to the level that you want to replace, especially your business income, work income, etc., you have to have full conviction in your trades, and you have to get used to holding for longer, especially on forex, bro. You got to take advantage of that. You shouldn't be just scalping and closing anything. Let's hold these trades for hours to days. Let's catch the full move, and we're going to talk about how to analyze the market properly. So what did you take a trade on today? Euro USD. All right, let's check it out. Euro USD. So, cool. So one thing I like to go ahead and do, did you long or did you short today? You longed? Okay. Market is looking pretty bullish, so cool. So what I like to go ahead and do is focus on 2 time frames, okay? I like to focus on my daily and then the 4 hour, okay? Daily, 4 hour time frames. Both of these time frames are gonna be absolutely imperative, okay? The minute time frames, especially on forex, you've got to get off of the minute time frames. They're going to do nothing but cloud your vision and destroy your P&L. And the reason why price is consolidating at your entries and not moving with quick volume is because it's probably not a high probability area. So here's how we identify high probability areas. So what I like to go ahead and do, get on my daily time frame here. If I'm looking for a long, right, I'm going to make sure that I'm not already at all-time highs, because you don't want to long into all-time highs because you don't know how much further price is going to go up, okay? So I can see right here that price is here, and I see that all-time highs is, or at least price has some more upside over here, okay? So I see that in between these 2 areas, price still has around 1,000 pips to go, okay? So price has a lot of gaps to fill. Okay, price hasn't been here since 2018. So now that I see on my daily, I can see that there's more upside structure. So I can see that if I were to play in a bullish scenario, price could continue to go upward. Cool. Now from there, I like to scale down to my 4 hour time frame. Okay. In this instance here, we're gonna have to use the daily and the 4 hour. But with this instance here in forex, we're gonna have to just keep the same analogy. Okay. So understand that resistance turns into support, okay? And then support turns into resistance, okay? So especially on forex, I'm gonna just keep it a band, bro. Like, especially on forex, if you're on a small account, you don't need to be scalping. That's not how we're gonna be progressing. You need to be catching the whole sweep, catching the whole entire move. Okay, that's gonna be the only way to progress. Check this out. Look right here. This would have been such an easy entry too. But look at this area right here. So now that we know that resistance turns into support, right? Check out this area of resistance right here. This area of resistance, check it. Look what happens if I extend this line. Boom. Look at this entry. So what we're gonna be looking for is pull back entries, okay? So you can either play a pullback entry, or I'm gonna talk about trend line entries as well too, okay? There's gonna be 2 formations. You can either wait for a long setup, okay? And we're talking about long setups. We're gonna go over short setups right after this, but strictly for long setups right now. You can wait for an area of resistance to be broken. Don't enter in on the breakout. Don't enter in on the breakout if you're waiting for a break and retest. You wait for the breakout to happen, then wait for price to come down in your area cleanly. So check it. So this area right here, boom, these 2 areas of resistance, okay, turn into support right here. So with this too, I would have also saw that there was some resistance right here on the daily. So this is why price decided to come down here as well too. If you can see these 2 daily resistances here. Okay, so these 2 resistances turn into support. Okay, even if you didn't enter here, that's fine. You could wait for price to make a higher low. Guess what? It made a higher low right here off of these resistances. You see how price spiked down into it, wicked off, saw some buying, and boom, take it right back up to the gap fill. And as you can see, you would have caught yourself around 300, 400 pips. And with some size, that's an account flip right there. And you're holding for days, keep in mind. And you do work often. And there's things I know you like to do. You skateboard, stuff like that. You like to chill. We all have lives. And this is what trading is meant for. You have to take a look at the billionaire perspective and understand that these people who are trading big shares, these billionaires, millionaires, etc., buying hefty amounts of size, they hold their contracts and they're holding their shares
for days, weeks, and years at a time. This is how people are getting wealthy. Okay? So we have to get out of the scalper's mindset. Let's stop scalping. We have to stop scalping. You're not going to get rich scalping. You might make some money, but if you want to be able to retire, quit all this, and let's take care of our loved ones, inshallah, then we have to be turning these day trade entries into swing entries. Okay? And we have to be using the daily time frame. We have to be using the daily. No more minute time frames. We got to be using the daily and holding stuff for days. Okay? So, if I were to catch an entry off here, I would have looked at these areas of resistance. Cool. If I would have missed this entry, that would have been fine because price came up, broke above the area of resistance, pulled back down to it, and then I would have entered here. And then you could easily do something like this. Stop loss under here, take profit up here, and go ahead and catch your trade. Okay, clean break and retest. Now, there's also going to be another way too. This is going to be more on the 4 hour. This is kind of a way I like to personally trade, especially when it comes to options. Okay, this is going to conclude on the 4 hour time frame. Okay, on the 4 hour time frame. So, I like to go ahead and look for, and this is going to be strictly for longs here, I'm still talking about. So I like to wait for areas of resistances to be formed like this, right? So you see how this resistance was created and then price decided to fall all the way down. Okay? Now that I know that, I can easily grab my trend line, draw it diagonally, okay? And I could just check it out. So if I saw something like this, let me delete these here. This is gonna be the other way I really like to play. This more works on stock options because your stop loss doesn't matter too much on options. But on forex, definitely break and retest is gonna be your best friend. But you can play like this as well too, once you do master it. So I like to get on my 4 hour time frame. This is how I would long draw a trend line formation. Okay, say something like this, right? Let me say if I was looking for a trade right now. So I would see this area of resistance was created here. Okay. Then I would grab my trend line, draw like this, and then boom. So I see price came into contact with these two tips twice, one and then two. Okay, and then I could easily just wait for price to go ahead, trickle through. Once it breaks out the trend line, then that can go ahead and be my entry, and then you will most likely win easily because the momentum's already there. You're not going to get consolidations when you're trading break and retest, because especially when you saw that break and retest entry, how quick price decided to jolt up. Okay, so even right here, we can see this area of resistance turned into support. So 4 hour is going to be very, very nice on forex too. Your 4 hour and your daily time frame is going to be the best for forex, stocks, really pretty much anything that you play. I don't think you should scalp anything. And the only reason why scalping is becoming more popular is because people trade futures, and on futures you can't swing trade with the same amount of margin and leverage like you can on forex and options. It requires a lot more money on futures, and you can owe the broker money and stuff like that. Forex, it's a lot more lenient. You can risk $1, stuff like that. Futures, you can't do that. It's completely different. So that's why people scalp, because the margin goes extremely high past 4 p.m. So say it costs $100 to open a contract, then later on in the day, in order to swing trade it, it costs $1,000 per contract. And if you don't have that, it'll liquidate you. So that's why people got into scalping, because on futures you can't swing trade. But if you're a forex trader, if you're a stock trader, which are the richest type of traders, then we need to be holding these fucking contracts for days and stop wasting our time and stop stressing ourselves out. Let's catch these easy break and retest setups and just farm. So check this out. Look, even something like this, right? Even this is an easy setup too if you wanted to short. Have this key area of support here, okay? And as you can see, price decided to get broken. Price broke underneath the support, retested, and then fell down and met us at this resistance here. and then this resistance here turned into support. And this is almost, 200 pips. Very nice trade. And all you have to do, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, 100%. Because you got on for a reason, and you should be 100% accepting of the risk. If you put your stop loss as whatever you put, you need to be 100% comfortable with losing that, even if it happened in the next minute. Okay? So if I were to look for a setup here, for example, okay, I'm seeing, okay, cool, I'm seeing this. I could draw a trend line like that. And this is going to go ahead and be the wedge here. So cool. So in this instance, price is either going to come up or it's going to come down. Okay. And then once price breaks out like here, you can easily catch that for the gap fill, or you can play break and retest. So either trend lines or break and retest are going to be the easiest and cleanest ways to trade. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a completely different pair, and let's find a different setup here. Let's pull up some USD JPY, Check this out. I think we marked out some stuff here. So cool. So we did have a short entry from here. Cool. All right. So same thing with here. If I were to long, okay, I see this trend line setup worked out here too. And you can't really draw the trend line wrong, honestly, because if you turn it and it's not to the exact point of the resistance wick, then it's going to be wrong. But as you can see, I want you to check this out. See how we got above the trend line here? Boom. There might have been a slight bit of drawdown, but eventually you see how we got up. We even retested the trend line. And then boom, eventually it did gap fill. So you can win this trade, and I don't know if you've ever seen the video of the Q Banks $500,000 trade. And yeah, it's a really good video. Yeah, it's a really good video. Pretty much what happened was he was in a long trade and something like this happened where price just decided to just fall down like all the way, okay? And eventually he got back into profit because he just held. So yeah, so that because you will eventually most likely win. So especially when you know your market direction, your bias. Same thing with this trend line up here. Do that, do this, and then do this. So as you can see, I have this resistance up here, this resistance here, this resistance here, okay? 3 resistances here. This is how I know the trend line is right. Honestly, if I wanted to on forex, what I would do is I would play with some small size, okay? Put down some small size, and you can go ahead and just take this trade. You can just long from here. You see you're above the trend line, and this is why I like coming after, because if you would have bought it on this first break, then you would have definitely fell down. But now I see we're above the trend line, we're closing above the trend line, and we're on our way to this resistance, okay? Then after this, price might break and retest. It might fall down. Maybe it might fall down to these resistances, okay? It's gonna go up, maybe fall down, go up again, and then come meet this resistance. Okay? Or you know what, it might even be like this. All right? especially since I see that we're above this area of resistance here too. I expect us to push above here and meet up to here. And if price gets to here and then retest off of that, price will not go to your entry. Then you're just in a profitable trade. Then from there, you're just literally holding for days and you're taking it all up to here, not doing anything, not scalping, not wasting your time, not hurting your head. You're just collecting money on it. Here's a trade that I'm in right now on options. This is SMCI. And I'm taking it up here. I had a bit of a breakout here, 45. I entered like somewhere like right here, something like that. But yeah, had a good breakout, had some good profit. I didn't close though, because this isn't all the profit I want. I'm not trading for profit. I'm trading for process, okay? So I'm not just closing early. I'm not closing at break even. I'm not closing at stop loss. I have my alert set up here because I need price to fill in this resistance structure up here, okay? So I'm not closing at break even. I need my trade to either hit stop loss or take profit. I'm trying to get rich. And if you want to get rich, you got to focus on the process, Angel. You're such a good trader. You got this. You're fantastic. You're very skilled. You're very talented. And it's sometimes we just have to look at ourselves and realize that we're the problem. Okay? And I don't want us to get in our way anymore. You're a fantastic trader. If you can have an excellent win rate, then let's scale up to the higher time frames. And let's go ahead and let's mark out these higher time frame setups, okay? USD JPY. Let me just pull this up. For example, check this out. Look, I'm gonna grab my trend line tool, zoom out, get on my daily. Cool. I see that there's some more upside. Cool. I see that we're in a bullish trend. Okay, cool. I can assume that price most likely wants to long. I like this area of resistance that was created up here by this support, right? So check it, support turned into resistance, strong area right here. I like that. And your eyeballs just get fast, you know? Your eyeballs just get fast, you know, especially when you just practice, look at it all day. So that's gonna be the number one thing I do want you to do too. Make sure we're practicing. Any free time that we have, as soon as we're off for work, let's just pull up the charts, mark out setups, trend line setups, and break a retest, okay? And let's just keep studying, keep farming. So after the daily, I like to see if there's some upside. Then I'll get on my 4-hour time frame just to see the picture a little clearer. I'll grab my trend line, start from the top of the resistance, take it through like this, make sure it matches up, check it. 1 resistance, 2 resistance, 3 resistance. Are we above the trend line? Yep. If I wanted to, I could literally just go ahead and enter here. I see the breakout here. Price already went down, higher low, higher low, higher low. So I see 3 higher lows. That means that price most likely wants to continue upward into this resistance. So if I wanted to, I could literally just enter here, take profit 1, and final take profit up there. Yeah. So yeah. Exactly. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. So if I were to see that, like exactly, you're a genius. Higher low right there. Stop loss right here. Final target all the way up here. Okay. Or if you wanted stop loss even below this low here. Because we don't want to be getting stopped out when we know our direction is right. You know, that's annoying. That can be frustrating. That can be hard. That can be taxing on your trading mental. That can be taxing on your mental, especially when you're just clipping hard-earned bread, just scalping it, just losing it. You know, it can make you not want to trade anymore. It can make you demoralized. It can make you demotivated. It can make you feel like you're going in circles. So let's put ourselves out of the limbo and let's just get realistic. Let's make our stop loss bigger. Let's get in on a trend that's already trending. Let's stop trying to play for perfect, unrealistic entries, and let's just play the market, okay? Market clearly shows me here that it wants to go upward and meet this first resistance right here, okay? Then after that, price might come down, break a retest off of here, because remember, we already had a higher low off here, and we already broke out of this resistance. So if we meet this resistance up here, price might come down, retest, hold this area, and then continue up. Okay, so even if you enter here, you're fine. Even if you sit in some drawdown, you're okay. Because guess what? Take profits all the way up here. And higher lows were already made, resistances were already broken. You just gotta wait for it to fill in. It comes to a point where trading is literally just about patience. High tier trading, billionaires, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, people who buy houses with their trading income, who start real estate portfolios with their trading income, who retire their parents with their trading income. I'm learning that these individuals are holding trades for long periods of time. It's not a lot of successful in and out scalpers that I'm seeing because it's too much emotional fluctuation. You're going to end up closing something at break even. You're going to end up closing something early. You're going to end up closing something that maybe shouldn't even have been opened in the first place. Okay, but when you're waiting for these high A plus setups and you could see that, okay, market already broke past the trend line and held it, cool. Let me just go ahead and get in, take my chances, and let me just go ahead and take profit all the way up here. Okay? I mean, it could be a week. Yeah, it could be a week. Longest trade I've held is like kind of 2 weeks ish, 10 days. Um, could be a week, could be a couple of days. But all you know is that buying is super duper good. So you could honestly get, and you're playing with the momentum. So if you get one of these candles right here, I mean, like two of these candles is pretty much like the whole thing. But when market's going slow like this, then it can be choppy. But as you can see, we broke out of the resistance already. So it lets me know that we definitely want to get bullish momentum and hunt this resistance. And after this resistance gets hunted, hunt this resistance. Okay, and then you just long and hold.
All right, look, I'm gonna make it extremely easy for you guys. Here's how you guys are gonna go ahead and be able to trade trend lines and trade breakouts on the daily and 4 hour time frame. Okay, this is gonna be for swing trading only, not scalping. So I break down all the ways you guys can play for futures. You know, this is primarily gonna be for crypto and options traders. Okay, this is gonna be a swing trading guide right here. So boom, let's go ahead and let's jump straight into it. So this is the trade that I'm currently in right now. I'm in Hal. Halliburton Company. So one thing I analyzed with this area of resistance right here, and I entered about right here near this area by the yellow line, entered right here. And yeah, price is just pushing up towards the area of resistance up here. And I'm gonna go ahead and close up here. So yeah, so yeah, I just want you guys to understand that this is how you're going to be able to trade trend line breakouts. Primarily, this is going to work within bullish uptrends. Okay, so this is going to work within bullish uptrends for the most part. Okay, so something's not working in a downtrend, then you need to go find a stock, crypto, coin, whatever, something that's bullish, and then inshallah this will work. Okay, check it out. Let's keep going. So look, the reason why I can tell this is in a bullish uptrend as well too, I like to go ahead and go in my daily time frame. Okay, and I'll zoom all the way out. Okay, I can clearly see that this stock has so much room to all-time highs, all the way to 50. Okay, so I like that. So I like to primarily trade stocks that have resistances above them. Okay, if it has a resistance above it, then ideally, in my opinion, then I think that price wants to go ahead and try and break those resistances and then continue upward. Okay, break the resistances, break the resistance. Boom. Yeah, so go ahead and see everything here. Boom. Breaking resistances, breaking resistances. So cool. And then you guys are going to go ahead and be able to see how price goes ahead and progresses upward. Okay. So then from there, we're going to go ahead and see something else. Boom. I'm going to see price making ultimate lows. Okay. And then from there, I'm going to wake up seeing price making higher lows from here. Okay.
higher low, another one, another one, another one, another one, another one. Okay, as you guys can see, price is making an upward staircase, okay, within an upwards momentum, okay. So due to that fact, we know that price is bullish here, okay. So past price, leave it back there, okay. And then things are gonna go ahead and progress upward, okay. So cool. That's gonna go ahead and be that. So, as far as the trend line, that's just understanding the logistics of how price is going to trend upward. Now, as far as the trend line, I like to draw the trend line on my 4-hour. Because what you guys are going to notice here on the daily, you see where the box is of the circle, how the line is non-existent, and then go ahead and go to your 4-hour. And then boom, check it out. Get the trend line, draw it diagonally. So you could either draw it like that, or I like to draw it off 2 resistances. Okay. So boom. And then you're going to go ahead and be able to see how the trend line got broken, had some slight retracement downward, and then price decided to go ahead and burst all the way up, and we're trying to go ahead and fill in this gap right here. Okay, so then this way price is going to go ahead and try and bounce up here. Okay, all right, so make it easy, guys. Don't make it hard. That's how you guys are going to be able to draw trend lines. All right. All right. So cool. That's going to go ahead and be this. And see here. I'm going to go ahead and find another good example for you guys here. I took this example here on Coca-Cola. Took this trade here, drew the trend line up here. As soon as it broke, filled the gap, closed. And that's going to go ahead and be that. Boom. And then price goes ahead and fills, retest, boom. Okay. Right here. This one's just going to be some break and retests, just kind of a breakout here. Notice area of resistance. I think price wants to come ahead and try and fill this area up here. As you go ahead and see, boom, broke up here, retest, filled this area up here, boom, and then price decided to trend a little downward. Okay, so this was just an easy 4-hour breakout area. Be confident in your breakouts. Be confident in the trades. Don't think that don't think, oh, it's just not going to work out. That's so cringe. Stop thinking that things aren't going to work out just because of past occurrences. It's not realistic. Let's stop doing that. Let's stop doing that to ourselves as human beings. Let's stop using past occurrences that didn't work out and bringing them into present reality. Forget it. Let's just be on some completely new, fresh stuff. All right? Forget everything. Let's do it. So even with this example here, I had this area of resistance marked out from right here. Resistance, resistance, as you can see, price. I like to wait for 4-hour close above my blue box if I'm going to trade a breakout. So we didn't get the closes until here, 4-hour close above the blue box. And then I could see price went ahead and wanted to fill this area of resistance right here. Okay. Fill. Okay. Once we get a 4-hour close above the blue box, patience, gap fill, close, GG's. Okay. Some of you guys are making trading way more difficult than it needs to be. Same thing with Pfizer here. Here's a trend line example. Kind of some break and retest low key as well too. Let me draw the box down here. I'm also going to draw a box here. Okay. So I want you guys to see this here. Price decide to go ahead and kind of give a retest off of this mini resistance here too. And then price right here, gave retest off this resistance right here. All right. That's just what it is. Okay. And then went ahead and drew the resistance trend line, and then blam. As you can see, as soon as price broke the trend line here in this area, I drew it diagonally on the area of resistance on the 4-hour, broke above it, closed for some profit, boom. And then we broke this resistance again, retested, and then met this resistance too. Okay, and then we might actually want to short from here potentially. Okay, and then yeah, that's just how you guys are gonna go ahead and do it. Okay, you guys are gonna be able to hold your trades longer, get on the 4-hour time frame, get on the daily time frame, and catch your big boy setups. All right, this is gonna go ahead and be Robinhood here. Okay, right here. Boom. So price decided to go ahead and boom, kind of bounced up right here. We'll see if this holds. I don't know if this retest area wants to hold for sure. I'm gonna find another good example for you guys. Kind of Nike right here too. Right here. You see price decided to go ahead and break out of this area here, and we met this little resistance area here. Okay, boom. Went ahead and just met this area here. Didn't even have to wait for a close here. Price just decided to blast. So I could get on the 1-hour here and check this out. See if I got a 1-hour close. Didn't even get a 1-hour close. It just decided to blast straight through. So yeah, sometimes that will happen depending on if there's news or something like that. So yeah. So now let me go back to daily time frame here. Okay, make sure you guys are starting on your daily time frame here. Ideally, your daily time frame is going to go ahead and give you the best course of like action of what you're going to go ahead and do too. Don't get too tunnel vision on the 4-hour. Zeta here. Thought I wanted to break out, retest, but it looks like it wants to come down, look for a new low, and then bounce, try higher. Cool. Comcast created this area of resistance. Now it's jumping down, and wait for prices to bounce one of these areas. And then this stock can be choppy. This is a good example here. Kind of right here, this could potentially be some retest or a good short opportunity right here. Look at this area of resistance right here. Price decides to break, and then we got a retest here too. I'm wondering if price wants to retest again off here and then gap fill. But in order to go ahead and just tell, you can go ahead and go to your 4-hour time frame, draw your trend line diagonally like this. Try and make sure there's no candles underneath it. You can. And just keep adjusting it to where the points meet up like that. Boom. So now I don't even have to predict anything. I can just go ahead and see this point right here. And I see right here, this is the point where I drew it from, where price wants to hunt. So price might want to hunt this area again if it breaks above the trend line. Okay. So that's just going to go ahead and be that. So cool. Right here, out once again, resistance, tap, 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 broke above it, filling, inshallah, go ahead and get a close for it to take profit. So yeah, that's how you guys trade trading lines and breakouts, swing trading, options, and crypto guide. Peace. Look, I know you're tired of being unprofitable, but you have to understand that these 5 factors ruin your trading discipline significantly. These are going to be the reasons why you're unprofitable. We got to solve these issues now to improve your trading success and consistency. Inshallah, if God wills. Let's go ahead and go. and figure out how we can crack this code. So the importance of trading discipline. Maintaining discipline in trading is crucial for achieving long-term success in trading. If you guys aren't disciplined within your trading, I don't care if you make 4 figures in a day, 5 figures in a day, 6 figures in a day, 7 figures in a day. If you make one bad decision and a couple of bad decisions, everything could literally just be eviscerated instantly. And that's going to be completely your fault. Okay. I want you guys to change the way that you think, change your mental framework, and understand that you need to foster consistency, emotional control, and you need to make sure all of that aligns within your trading strategy. I don't care if you guys trade breakouts, you're a swing trader, day trader, scalper, whatever. Okay. You know how you trade. Just make sure you guys are having emotional control. Make sure you guys are trading within your risk to reward ratio every single time. Don't be closing too early or too late. And you need to make sure that your mindset when you come onto the charts is, I'm okay with losing today. Some of you guys get emotional when you lose. You overtrade, destroying your risk to reward ratio, destroying everything that you've all built, destroying everything. Accept a loss. Understand that when you take a loss, that's going to go ahead and be a positive thing. Okay. Study it, learn from it, figure out why you took that loss. What can you learn from that loss? How did you feel after the loss? Go journal it, go learn, analyze yourself, study yourself. Some of you guys are letting things make you panic, but understand that the human brain can just trick you guys into just making you think about absolute nonsense. Okay. Just understand that you took your loss, eat it to the chest, and understand that maybe you made some mistakes too. So you made mistakes too. You probably made a bad trade. And if you didn't, why are you crying about the loss? You stuck to your criteria. You stuck to how you should have been trading. And you're mad? What do you want? You want to win all the time? Because that's not life. Life isn't perfect. And there's going to be times where you're going to mess up. And you got to be okay with that. Don't be okay with messing up and go destroy your life. Mess up, repent to God if there was a mistake that was out of greed, just any type of mistake, and just mend your ways and watch how things change. Okay? Take your L's to the chest. Look at yourself. Don't look at everyone else. Look at yourself. Look at the mistakes you've made. Okay? So, steps to overcome emotional trading. Okay? There's going to be many steps to overcome emotional trading. All right? So, one step is going to be to pre-plan your trades. Okay? Pre-plan your trades. You pre-plan your trades, you're going to have an idea and a criteria based off of, okay, this is what I do. These are the type of setups that I like to take. I'm not going to let the market destroy me. I'm going to destroy the market. I'm going to come on and put on this trade with confidence. I'm going to make sure that I have my risk parameters in place, but I'm going to be okay with hitting stop loss or hitting take profit. I know when I'm going to get out and I know when I'm going to get in. All right. It's going to minimize impulsive decisions, and you guys are going to be able to just be patient and take your time. All right. So stick to stop loss and take profit. Okay. That's going to bring me to that. Establish your clear limits to prevent emotional reactions from affecting trades. Don't be up 500% on the trade and be like, oh my gosh, I'm about to go buy a Lamborghini with this trade. And then boom, it hits an area of resistance. If it's a long and then you just get reversed on, and then your 5K then gets destroyed, and then you're left with $500. And then you guys are crying and like, man, I could have had whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But you guys didn't close at the right area, okay? You didn't just close at the area of resistance like you should have. That's your fault. Once again, some things we put on ourselves. It's our fault. All right? Utilize journaling. So record your trades and feelings to identify emotional triggers and patterns. So record your trades, okay? Get your trading journal. Reflect on how you feel for the day. Reflect on what you do. Reflect on any mistakes that you made. Once again, if it was a mistake that agreed, go ahead and feel free to repent to God. Don't beat yourself up. Why didn't I close? Why didn't I do this? Don't break yourself down. Relax. We're here on earth to make mistakes. Just go repent to God. Go to God about it and relax. All right? Ask God, can I get some wisdom? Can I get better right now? Can my anxiety be calm? I know I made a mistake, but may I learn from this? Okay. So stay disciplined, guys. Make sure you guys wake up, pray, work out, eat healthy. I'll tell you that every single video. And commit to your trading plan and resist the urge to deviate based on emotions. Just because you guys see a area of support just getting dumped on, if you're waiting for a long, you're waiting for a long. Don't swap your plan. Don't do this and that. Don't be just maneuvering all over the place, because that way your brain is not going to be structured. The discipline is not going to build. Okay. And then you guys are not going to be able to learn how you're going to be able to progress. Okay. So create a solid trading plan. All right. Create a solid trading plan. Okay. So define your criteria. What do you like to trade? Do you like to trade breakouts? Okay. Do you like to trade reversals? Do you like to trade break and retest? What do you like to do? Okay. What's your entry criteria? You got to figure that out. How do you like to trade? I can't determine that for you guys. These are the 3 best ways I recommend trading: reversal setups, reversal setups, breakouts, or break and retest. Okay. And establish specific entry. Whatever you guys like to trade that. That's all you trade. Okay. Either breakouts or break and retest. Then don't trade reversals. If you're a reversal trader, then look for support to turn into resistance if you're looking to short or something like that. Okay. So yeah, depending on what you guys like to trade. My forex traders, I know you guys like to trade a lot of reversals just because it's more sideways. My stocks and cryptos traders, a lot more breakouts and break and retests just because it's more of an upwards trend, you know? So that's why we utilize back testing to see what type of market we're in, and test your strategy using historical data to ensure effectiveness before live trading. So go on TradingView, back test your strategy, back test the candlestick movements, back test how you guys like to trade, and see if it reflects into present day. Okay. And I want you guys to set measurable goals, outline achievable objectives for your trading performance to maintain focus and motivation. All right. So I need you guys to achieve these goals. Inshallah, if God wills, I need you guys to wake up and pray, ask for God to help you. And I also need you guys to set some goals for yourself, not profit goals per se, but set some goals like, did I stick to my setup for 10 trades? Did I stick to my stop loss to take profit for 10 trades in a row? Set goals like that. Don't set monetary goals right off the bat because you might be disappointed, but just set some discipline goals and watch how that turns into money. Inshallah, if God wills. So regularly review and adjust. Assess your trading plan periodically and make necessary adjustments based on your performance. Okay. So depending on what you guys are trading, like if you're trading bad, you're losing every single day, maybe you guys need to start trading more higher time frame setups. Because if you're stressing out about losing every single day, you're trading 2 smaller time frame setups, and this just isn't going to be something that's going to help you guys progress. All right. I love you guys, but I want you to progress. So if something's clearly not working, don't keep doing it. That doesn't mean quit trading. Just swap your strategy back to something else, demo it for a couple of weeks, months, and then go ahead and live start slamming. All right. So overcoming over trading for success. So set some trade limits. Okay. You guys are going to have to go ahead and set some trade limits and establish a maximum number of trades per day to maintain focus. Okay. Don't be trading 100,000 times a day. If you guys are a swing trader, try and stick to like 3 setups at once. Okay. If you're in like 3 different swing trades, try and stick to like 3 setups at once, max. Okay. If you're a scalper, try and focus on 1 to 2 trades per day, max. Or like 5 trades per week, max. Okay. And focus on quality setups, please. Don't just be trading anything on the block. Sometimes we do make mistakes as human beings. Sometimes we do anything on the block. We can't explain why. We don't know why we would do that. But sometimes our emotions can make us do silly mistakes. where we do anything on the block. So we're going to prioritize high probability setups instead of random trades based on emotions. Okay? Talking from experience here, guys. There's times I just haven't closed trades when I made like $900 because it wasn't at 1,000. Instead of looking at the chart, looking at P&L, getting desperate. Stupid mistakes. Silly me, and God definitely humbled me. I want you guys to learn from these mistakes. Okay? So I also need you guys to practice patience. Okay? Practice patience. I need you guys to wait for optimal conditions and avoid impulsive decisions driven by boredom or FOMO. If you guys are a swing trader, you need to get used to just waiting for the setup. Calm your anxiety down. Relax yourself. We only live once, man. Just take the setup. That doesn't mean take every single thing, but don't be afraid to just take the risk. Let's grind. Let's make up for these stupid mistakes that we've made in our life. Okay, and I want you guys to just be successful. So just wait for the A plus setups so then you guys can be like, yes, finally, all those hours studying, all those people hating on me, all those silly mistakes I made, crashing out, losing all the money from my job, making mistakes, feeling stupid, about to rip my hair out, cursing, slamming the desk, whatever we do. You guys are all going to feel a lot better when you guys are patient, waiting for A plus setups and you're actually seeing market returns. You're going to be like, okay, this is what I grinded for. Trust me. And it's really going to help when you maintain a trading journal as well, too. Okay. Go get a trading journal. I don't care if it's most likely make it a real life one. Things are already too much digital. Try and make it a real life one. And go ahead and document each trade to analyze patterns and prevent future overtrading mistakes. Okay. So whenever you guys fall into a season of just, man, I'm just not feeling it, I'm losing all the time, you guys can go back to your trading journal if you were doing decent, write some positive things in there, write some affirmations, write some goals. Yeah, make sure you guys are just praying and writing these goals down as well, just so you guys can just physicalize everything in reality, because I do want you guys to achieve success. That's ultimately what I do care about. And steps to improve risk management. And we're going to do that by worshiping God here. So define your risk. So determine the percentage of your capital to risk per trade. Go ahead and determine the percentage of your capital to risk per trade. Okay. If you guys are going to do 1 to 10%, go ahead and stay between that. Don't go above, don't go below, don't go doing anything on the block. Okay. If you guys are using futures or forex to trade, use stop loss. If you're an options or crypto trader, I would just delete the stop loss entirely. Okay, it's stupid. Just go watch my video on why I think stop loss is stupid when it comes to options. Crypto, it's kind of related in that too. But if you're futures and forex, F and F, right? I'm gonna go ahead and give that a check mark. All right, position sizing. Go ahead and calculate the appropriate position size based on your risk tolerance. Don't be playing with the whole account and with just one trade, because if you lose, you're going to be crashing out. You're going to be extremely mad, you're going to be pissed off, and you're not going to be happy that you did that. So just take it one setup at a time, relax, control yourself, and just size down. Size down and catch bigger trades. Okay, you're going to be not really caring if the trade we're going to lose, but when you're in profit, they're going to be happy. All right, and make sure you guys are consistently reviewing yourself in the market. Regularly assess trades and adjust your risk strategy accordingly. Okay, consistently review how you guys are feeling. Consistently review your emotions. Consistently review your mistakes. Okay, don't stick on your mistakes, but just analyze yourself. Keep yourself in check. You're not perfect. You're not here to be perfect. This is what we need, God. Okay, I want you guys to just get into the mindset. Just wake up, pray, go read your text. I don't care what religion you guys are. Yeah, bro, and just get your soul right. Okay, because if you're feeling too much anxiety and stuff like that in real life, if you come onto the charts, you're going to be getting destroyed. I'm telling you, it used to be happening to me when I wasn't right mentally and internally, but I had to go get right with God. And my beautiful wife, she did help me with that a lot too. She really taught me a lot of things. And shout out to her. May God bless her. I really do cherish her and everything she's taught me. I love her so much. And yeah, she knows who she is. And yeah, regularly assess your trades, guys, and just realize what you're doing it for. Some of you guys might have a beautiful wife that you're doing this for. Some of you guys might have family that you're trying to do this for. And just understand that regardless of all the mistakes that we made in this life, we're here to just pray to God and just make it all up. Don't take it all too serious, guys. Don't hold on to the loss that you just took. Go forward. Understand that that loss was meant to happen. All those losses were meant to happen. Don't question God. His planning is perfect. But as long as you guys pray and stay resilient, inshallah, and you learn from your mistakes, I can only see you guys getting to the upside. I just want you guys to see happiness in life. So, review your trading performance steps. Go get a journal, analyze your results, set your goals, and focus on continuous improvement. Okay? Don't get lazy, get more disciplined. The only thing that's going to change is the amount of contracts that you play with. Okay? Stick to your setups. Don't get cocky within the market. Make sure you guys are just studying overall. Okay? So, focus on that. Take action for trading success, all right? It's time to implement the changes that will enhance your trading discipline. Focus on these 5 factors that can improve your trading performance and help you achieve your goals. I love you guys so much. StackMODE.net for trading education. Stay prayed up with God. Let's do this for our families, our wives, our brothers, our sisters, our grandmas, our moms. Let's go get in this chicken bag. Let's get it out of our head. And let's go ahead and let's get in our bag. I love y'all so much. Peace.
Cool. So now you know how to effectively trade futures, crypto, stock options, and you know what support and resistance is. Now, before we need to actually get into making profitable trades and profitable setups, we need to make sure that we have our risk management mastered and down place. So risk management is going to be is how we manage our risk. Okay. Risk management is how we manage our risk, right? So let's say this, for example. Let's say you had $1,000 account, right? You never want to trade or risk more than 10% of your account at a time. Okay. So you guys are going to want to make sure that you are staying at 10% or less of your account should be your risk. 10% or less of your account should be your risk. 10% is going to be the absolute maximum. And the reason why we have 10% as our maximum you would get 10 trades before you completely blow your account. 10 trades is quite a few trades. If you lose all 10 trades and you blow your account, it's fine. Just start again. You probably won't ever lose all 10 trades, but if it were to happen and you just weren't marking out your setups correctly, at least you have 10 trades. That's a lot of trades before your account is blown. A lot of people end up risking too much. Let's say like risk like 400 and they only have $1,000 account, and then they end up taking a loss, right? Now half of your account is gone in one trade. So you guys want to make sure that you're pretty much just taking it slow. Never risk more than 10% of your account at a time. Okay? So it's let's say you guys have a 50 tick stop loss on YM, for example, right? That should not be more than 10% of your account, whatever that is. And you need to lower the contract size until your risk management is pretty much always um, congruent in place, right? Okay. Don't break your risk management. And also, play for at least a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Okay, make sure you guys are playing for at least a 1-to-1. This is going to be the short position tool and the long position tool, which you guys can use on TradingView. Um, and yeah, you guys can go ahead and measure out this number here where it says risk to reward ratio. So just make sure that your setups always at least measure 1. If you guys want to get access to the tool, come over here, come to the top left, and put a star between long and short position tool. Okay, so when you're playing for at least a 1-to-1, your risk is at least going to be your profit. Ideally, you want to be trying to get like a 1-to-2. So just in case you lose another trade, you're still going to go ahead and have some more room as well to go ahead and still be profitable. So yeah, but bare minimum, make sure you guys are playing for at least a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio and use the long and short position tool to help you measure your risk and your stop loss, etc. Okay, as far as your take profits go. Okay, don't ever hold a trade past your stop loss. Don't ever hold a trade past your stop loss. A lot of people don't becoming profitable or are not profitable in trading just because they just lack discipline and have little amounts of self-control. Do not ever hold past your stop loss. Your stop loss is there for a reason. When you hold past your stop loss, you're going to start making up trades within your head. You're going to start making up things within your head when the trend is clearly not going within your direction. Okay? Don't hold your past your stop loss, because when you take a big loss from that, it's going to be a lot harder to recover, or you might end up risking more on the next trade and end up blowing your account just because you took a big loss initially. Okay, so keep your risk management in place. It's extremely, extremely easy. Let's go ahead and jump in the next part of the course. I love you. Stay prayed up. Peace. Welcome to graduation, young Padawan. Congrats. You've made it to the end of the course. This is going to be a fantastic journey for you, inshallah, filled with so much positivity, radiance, abundance. But on the other hand, be ready for trials, tribulations, frustration, and be ready to risk for the type of life that you want. Trading is a beautiful game, and alhamdulillah, God is the greatest. I'm so glad that we are able to come together. Thank you so much for purchasing this course. I pray that you guys are profitable. I pray that you guys are successful. I pray that this course helped you. And don't ever stop. I don't care how much bread you guys lose in this game. People have been doing this since the 70s. Don't ever give up. Keep going. Stay persistent. Stay prayed up with God. That's the most important thing. And I promise you guys will have the resilience to keep going. Okay? I love you guys so much. Keep grinding. Keep pushing through. Thank you so much for getting this course. StackMode.net for my free ebook, Discord signals, as well as you want to talk to me for mentorship. If you still need some more help. Okay? First call is free. I love you guys so much. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.